Chapter 2673 The Tang Family Lease Reading Omicron N Novel Cool. Omicron M. The old man's expression changed when he heard Xian Yanjin's words. After a long while he sighed. Reincarnation has countless risks. If you can't awaken, you'll be trapped in reincarnation forever until you die. It's already very fortunate that the second young lady has awakened. At least, she still has the memories of her previous life. The gray-robed old man sighed. He had lived for a long time and had seen many people reincarnate. However, only 1 in 10,000 people could truly be reincarnated and awaken. Most of them had sunk into eternal oblivion. There were also many people like Xian Yanqing who were too obsessed with this life and eventually decided to take control of it. This way, the reincarnation was only half successful. It was rare to see someone like Xian Yanjuan who had fully awakened. Moreover, she has a family now. She has a son and a granddaughter. Then, Xian Yanjuan told him about Xian Yanqing and Lu Ming's situation. The two of them chatted as they waited. Not long after, a figure floated in. It was Xian Yanqing. "You are..." When Xian Yanqing saw the gray-robed old man, her delicate body trembled and her face turned pale. Hong Yang pays his respects to the second young lady. The gray-robed old man bowed to Xian Yanqing. "Hong," Xian Yanqing said softly. He originally wanted to call him Uncle Hong, but after a moment of silence he changed his words. "Senior, you don't have to be so polite. My name is Xian Yanqing now, not Tang Qing. You are the reincarnation of the second young lad's soul. No matter which lifetime you are in control of, you are the second young lady in my heart." The gray-robed elder bowed. "Senior, why have you come?" Xian Yanqing said. "Xian Yanqing, we should leave. This is not a place for us to stay." Xian Yanjuan said. "Leave? No, I want leave." Xian Yanqing shook his head, his expression firm. "I'm not leaving, Xian Yanqing. Our cultivation is too slow here. Only by leaving can we improve quickly." Xian Yanjuan said. "If my cultivation is slow, then it'll just slowly improve." Xian Yanqing continued to shake his head. "Xian Yanqing, are you really going to abandon the Tang family just like that? In your past life, you were the second miss of the Tang family, Tang Qing. Don't forget that they are in danger now." Xian Yanjin's voice grew louder. Xian Yanqing frowned. There seemed to be some struggle between his brows, but he did not speak. "Moreover, there are some things that will only be difficult if the two of us work together. Moreover, Father's whereabouts are currently unknown. Only if we work together can we find him. Only if we find Father will we have hope. Do you understand?" Xian Yanjin's voice grew louder as he pressed on. The father she was referring to was naturally not Xie Qitian from the Xie family of the Divine Wilderness continent, but her father from her previous life. "I'm Xian Yanqing." The struggle between Xian Yanqing's brows became more intense. Finally, he shouted as if he wanted to strengthen his belief. "I know that you are Xian Yanqing. I also know that you can't bear to leave Lu Ming, Lu Shenhuang, and Lu Qi. However, if you stay, you will only bring harm to them. You should know very well how terrifying and powerful our enemies are. You are Tang Qing's soul. Just based on this, you will be discovered by them sooner or later. The Qin Heaven Star Zone is located in a remote area. It's still all right. However, with Lu Ming's talent, do you think he will stay in the Qin Heaven Star Zone forever? With his talent, he will leave the Qin Heaven Star region sooner or later. At that time, if you come into contact with those people, you're ident. 1. Tai will be discovered sooner or later. You're the daughter of Taboo. They won't let you off. They won't let Lu Ming and the rest off either. No matter how talented Lu Ming is, he won't be able to fight back when facing those people. I believe you're very clear about this. Otherwise, why didn't you dare to tell Lu Ming anything? You're afraid of implicating them." Xian Yanjuan said as he stared into Xian Yanqing's eyes. Xian Yanqing's eyes became fluid. "You..." teared. "Xian Yanqing, I've said everything I need to say. It's up to you to decide. Today's separation doesn't mean that you'll never see each other again. If you find Father, you'll still see each other." Xian Yanjuan said. "All right, I'll go with you." After some struggle, Xian Yanqing finally spoke again, his eyes filled with determination. Xian Yanjuan smiled. "But I have to go and say goodbye to Lu Ming," Xian Yanqing said. "I'll go with you," Xian Yanjuan said. "I'll send you there. Just point me to the location," the gray-robed elder said. Then he waved his hand and disappeared with Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjuan. In the next moment, they reappeared in Lu Ming's courtyard. Lu Ming sensed Xian Yanqing and the rest the moment they appeared. Although he was cultivating, he had left a trace of spiritual sense to keep an eye on his surroundings. "Shao Qing and Xian Yanjuan, what's the matter?" Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He ended his cultivation and walked out of the room. When Lu Ming walked out of the room and his gaze fell on the gray-robed elder, his pupils could not help but shrink. He had never thought that there would be a third person. Just now he only sensed Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjin's auras. He didn't sense the gray-robed elder's aura at all. It was as if he was just air. Unfathomable. This was Lu Ming's first impression of the gray-robed elder. Lu Ming, let me introduce you. This is Uncle Hong. Xian Yinjuan was the first to speak. Uncle Hong? Lu Ming was slightly stunned. Xian Yinjuan called him Uncle Hong so affectionately, so he must be very close to him. This was the primal universe, so this elder naturally couldn't be from the primordial realm's divine wilderness continent Xie family. It went without saying that this person was someone Xian Yinjuan knew in his previous life. Lu Ming of the junior generation greets the senior. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said, "You're the second young lad's husband in this life. You're indeed a dragon among men." The gray-robed elder sized Lu Ming up, as if he could see through all of Lu Ming's secrets. He continued, "All right, you guys continue chatting. I'll leave first." With that, the gray-robed elder's body disappeared. Lu Ming could not even tell how he disappeared. "Lu Ming," Xian Yanqing walked to Lu Ming's side and muttered to himself, "I'm going to leave." "What?" Lu Ming's heart trembled and his expression changed slightly. "Leave? Little Qing, what do you mean by this?" "There are some things that I need to do. But don't worry, you'll be back soon," Xian Yanqing said. "Where are you going?" "I'll go with you," Lu Ming said. "Lu Ming, I'm afraid you can't help with this," Xian Yinjuan said. "What's the matter?" Lu Ming frowned and asked. "To tell you the truth, Xian Yanqing and I were both from the Tang family in our previous lives. However, the Tang family is facing a huge crisis. My father has gone missing and we need Xian Yanqing and me to find him. You are too weak to help. Moreover, our cultivation will only improve rapidly after we leave. It's only a matter of time before we return to our previous lives. We can't unleash our potential here," Xian Yinjuan said. Chapter 2674 Virtual G. O. D. Ranking List Expert Lease Reading Omicron in Novel Cool. Omicron in great danger? Then I can't let little Qing go alone. Lu Ming's expression changed. "Lu Ming, don't worry. They'll be very safe when I go to that place," Xian Yanqing said. "That's right. Lu Ming, let me tell you, if Xian Yanqing stays by your side, he will be in real danger. It's easy for the enemy to sense him. When that happens, not only will Xian Yanqing be in danger, but you, Lu Shenhuang, Lu Qi, and your family will all be in danger," Xian Yinjuan said. For a moment Lu Ming was speechless. He understood that Xian Yanqing had left most likely for their safety. He wasn't afraid of himself, but he had to consider for Lu Shenhuang and the rest. Strength, it's still strength. Lu Ming could not help but clench his fists. After coming to the desolate universe, he deeply felt that he was too weak. "Lu Ming, don't worry. Our separation is only temporary. We'll meet again sooner or later," Xian Yanqing said as he held Lu Ming's hand. Lu Ming was silent and did not speak. At this time the SPE flickered, and the gray-robed elder's figure reappeared. "Lu Ming, this is for you." The gray-robed elder waved his hand and a jade talisman flew towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming reached out and took it. "The address we're going to is inside, but I've placed a seal on it. One day when your cultivation Serpa SES that of AG, oh, King, you'll be able to break the seal. At that time you can partake 1p8 in everything," the gray-robed elder said. "Serpa sing the G, oh, King level." Lu Ming's heart trembled. Lu Ming had never heard of the realm above the King of G, O, S. According to what he knew, the strongest experts in the Qin Heaven starfield were G, O, Kings. He had never heard of an existence that transcended G, O, King. "Lu Ming, take care. We will meet again very soon. I believe in you." Xian Yanqing spoke softly, then pressed his red lips against Lu Ming's. After a long time their lips parted. "Little Qing, don't worry. It won't take me too long to reach the G, O, D King realm. I'll definitely reach that realm. When that time comes, he'll come and find you," Lu Ming whispered in Xian Yanqing's ear. His voice was firm and so was his gaze. He had seen all kinds of storms along the way. In the heaven realm, even someone as powerful as the evil G, O, D tribe had been annihilated by him in the end. Since Xian Yanqing had a great enemy in his previous life and they were destined to fight, he would flatten him and erase him from the face of time. "I believe in you, Lu Ming. Take care," Xian Yanqing muttered as he retreated. With a wave of his hand, the gray-robed elder swept up Xian Yanqing and Xian Yinjuan with a force and they disappeared without a trace. Little Qing, wait for me. Looking at the empty courtyard, a low and deep voice reverberated in the courtyard. After a long while, Lu Ming took a deep breath to calm himself down. He then returned to his room to cultivate. He would definitely use the shortest amount of time to reach the G.O.D. King realm. No matter how strong the opponent was, he would flatten them. Xian Yanqing and Xian Yanjin's departure did not cause any commotion in Kongshen sect. There were many disciples in the Kongshen sect. Every year, some disciples would go missing, be killed or die while completing missions, or die in dangerous places. To the major forces this was a very normal thing. However, the G.O.D. King experts of the Kongshen sect did not sense the arrival of the gray-robed elder on planet Kongshen. This made Lu Ming understand that the cultivation of the gray-robed elder was impossible to guess. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed since Xian Yanqing left. On this day, a group of people arrived at the Huangwu courtyard. Big brother, you've finally come out of seclusion. Huangwu was standing in front of a white-robed young man, his face full of smiles. The white-robed young man had a cold expression on his face. He was Huangwu's elder brother, Huangwen. I know everything about you, Huangwen said, his voice revealing a hint of killing intent. Big brother, you have to avenge me. That Lu Ming that B***starred, dared to injure me and kill the people of my floating light faction. I'll tear him into 1,000 pieces. Huangwu's face was ferocious. He's dead. He's definitely dead. However, it's not easy to deal with him if he stays in the sect. Huangwen frowned. There was a rule in the Kongshen sect that killing was not allowed within the sect. Then what should we do? Are we just going to let him be? Huangwu said unwillingly. Carefree, how is that possible? Hee. Huangwen sneered. Dongfang Han, go and issue a life and death duel invitation to that brat. Force him out of the mountain gate and then go and kill him. Let Dongfang Han write a life and death duel? How is this possible? That kid isn't stupid, how could he agree? Huangwu said. Killing was forbidden in the Kongshen sect, but there was one exception. That was the life and death duel. However, there were also conditions to issuing the deathmatch challenge. The two outer sect elders had to sign it, and both parties had to agree to the challenge. Only after they stamped their thumbprints would the deathmatch challenge take effect. This way they could enter the life and death battle stage and fight to the death, and the sect would not pursue the matter. However, Dongfang Hao was an expert on the virtual G.O.D. ranking list. Almost all of the outer sect disciples were at the void G.O.D. realm, and there were close to 100,000 of them. Therefore, someone had created a ranking list which was the virtual G.O.D. ranking list. He listed the 120 strongest virtual G.O.D. level powerhouses and made a ranking. Everyone who made it onto the virtual G.O.D. ranking was an expert at the peak of the 9th level of the virtual G.O.D. realm. Their combat strength was extremely powerful, and even Serpa said people of the same level. One had to know that there were more than 120 people who had reached the 9th level of the void G.O.D. realm in the outer sect of the Kongshen sect. There were even more than 10,000 people. Many of them had reached the 9th level of ethereal G.O.D. realm and then got stuck at this realm, unable to advance further. Out of so many people, only 120 were listed. It could be seen how strong these 120 people were. Although Dongfang Hao was ranked 120th at the bottom of the virtual G.O.D. ranking list, his combat strength far surpassed, said other 9th level virtual G.O.D. realm experts. Sending such an expert to issue a death duel invitation to Lu Ming, it would be a wonder if Lu Ming would sign it. Of course, I know that he doesn't dare to sign it. My purpose is to put pressure on him and force him to leave the mountain gate. Then I can crush him as easily as crushing an ant. Huangwen sneered. Big brother is wise. Huangwu was overjoyed. Next, a young man with short red hair left the place. He was Dongfang Hao, one of the top outer sect disciples. One day, Lu Ming was cultivating when a voice came from outside the courtyard. Lu Ming, get out here. His voice was like thunder, shaking the entire courtyard. Lu Ming's face darkened. He ended his cultivation and went to the courtyard. At this moment, the surrounding outer sect disciples were also alarmed. Someone is finding trouble with Lu Ming again. That's Dongfang Hao. What? It's Dongfang Hao from the virtual G.O.D. ranking. He's the top expert in the outer sect of the transient light faction. Lu Ming is in trouble. Many people recognized Dongfang Hao and were shocked. Chapter 2675 Third Level of the Void G. O. D. Realm Lease Reading Omicron Novel Cool. Omicron Dongfang Hao Virtual G. O. D. Ranking? Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. The moment he saw Dongfang Hao, he felt a sense of danger, as if he was being stared at by a terrifying wild beast. An expert. Lu Ming immediately knew that this was an extremely terrifying expert. You are Lu Ming? You even dare to kill my Floating Light Faction's people. You're very bold. Dongfang Hao glared at Lu Ming coldly, his cold killing intent enveloping Lu Ming completely. I'm indeed quite bold. Lu Ming responded. Is that so? Since you're so bold, I'll issue you a life and death duel now. Do you dare to accept it? A gilded invitation appeared in Dongfang Hao's hand. With a wave of his hand, the invitation flew toward Lu Ming like lightning. Lu Ming stretched out his hand to receive it. He felt a strong surge of energy surging towards him. His body swayed slightly and he dispelled this energy. He then received the invitation card steadily in his hand. Lu Ming took a glance and saw that on the post there were 5 big words. A life and death duel. There were the signatures of 2 outer sect elders, as well as Dongfang Hao's signature and fingerprint. As long as Lu Ming stamped his thumbprint on it, he would have agreed to the life and death duel. What? Dongfang Hao actually issued a death duel invitation to Lu Ming? I didn't hear wrong, did I? You didn't hear wrong. That's it. It can't be. Dongfang Hao is a person on the virtual G. O. D ranking list. Lu Ming has just entered the sect not long ago. Dongfang Hao's words caused a commotion among the outer disciples. An expert on the virtual G. O. D ranking list actually issued a life and death duel invitation to a disciple who had just entered the sect. This was rare in history. You're really shameless. 9th level ethereal G. O. D realm and you dare to challenge a disciple who just entered the sect. Lu Ming sneered and mocked. Cut the C. R. P. Weren't you very bold just now? Now you're a coward? If you don't have the guts to accept it, then get out of the sect. Dongfang Hao berated. Many people looked at him with disdain. Dongfang Hao was an expert on the virtual G. O. D ranking list. Wasn't it normal for him to not dare to accept the challenge? However, no one dared to speak up. Lu Ming looked at the life and death duel letter in his hands and seemed to be in deep thought. Did you hear that? If you don't dare to answer, get out of the sect. My Kongxian sect will not keep such a cowardly person. Dongfang Hao continued to berate him shamelessly. Don't make a fuss here. I'll sign this life and death duel agreement. Suddenly Lu Ming's voice was heard. Then, a drop of blood seeped out of his finger and he imprinted his handprint on the mountain of books. The surroundings suddenly fell silent. He signed it. Lu Ming actually signed it. Everyone was stunned. They did not expect that Lu Ming would really dare to sign the life and death contract. Dongfang Hao himself was stunned. He had never thought that Lu Ming would sign the life and death duel agreement. His original intention was to force Lu Ming to leave the sect and then Huang Wen would send people to kill Lu Ming. Kid, there's a time limit to the life and death duel. It must be carried out within 3 years. Otherwise you'll be expelled from the sect. Do you understand? Dongfang Hao said coldly. 3 years? There's no need for 3 years. We'll meet on the life and death battle stage 1 year later. Lu Ming said. 1 year, alright, 1 year later then. Dongfang Hao then added a year to the life and death duel. A year later, if Lu Ming did not dare to accept the challenge, he would be expelled from the Kongxian sect. After writing down the date, Dongfang Hao cast a cold glance at Lu Ming and soared into the sky, leaving the place. Lu Ming actually signed it. He doesn't want to live anymore. I think he's deliberately stalling for time. Why time? What could he do in a year? He won't be able to catch up to Dongfang Hao in a year. Could it be that he wants to take this opportunity to leave the Kongxian sect? It's possible. Although he has left the Kongxian sect, at least he's still alive. It's better than being killed by Dongfang Hao. Many people discussed and felt that Lu Ming was deliberately stalling for time. In the Yellow Martial Palace. What? That kid actually signed it? Huang Wen, Huang Wu, and the others were also surprised when they heard the news. They initially thought that Lu Ming would definitely not sign it. Huang Wen's purpose was to force Lu Ming to leave. Once Lu Ming signed it, his plan was disrupted. This kid is definitely stalling for time and then taking the opportunity to sneak away. Huang Wu said. The others nodded and agreed with Lu Ming's plan. Given Lu Ming's current cultivation base, there was a 10,000% chance that he would not be a match for Dongfang Hao in a year's time. What a good plan. However, since Zhen has left, he can forget about coming back in the future. Wang Wen said coldly. If he left, he would be expelled from the sect. 1 year later, let's wait and see. If he doesn't leave, well, kill him. Wang Wen said. He then left the place and returned to the inner sect. A year was too short for a martial G.O.D. They did not think that Lu Ming would be able to cause any trouble within a year. The news that Lu Ming had signed the life and death duel agreement with Dongfang Hao spread among the outer sect disciples rapidly, causing a huge commotion. Some people thought that Lu Ming was courting death, but more people thought that he was stalling for time and wanted to take the opportunity to escape. In fact, some of them were secretly staring at Lu Ming to see if he was going to slip away. Lu Ming could not be bothered with all this. He returned to his room and continued cultivating. After a few days, Lu Ming opened his eyes. I can continue to break through, Lu Ming muttered. After a few months of tempering and polishing, his foundation was already very solid, and he could continue to attack new realms. He still had many wood crystals in his hands, but he had not refined them yet. He took out a wood crystal, swallowed it, and began to cultivate. And NBSP he trained in sovereign divine power, and each breakthrough required an astonishing amount of resources. However, the wood crystals that Lu Ming had obtained in the abyss and the ones he had obtained after killing the plant life forms were not used. They were enough for him to break through. The wood crystals were quickly refined. Lu Ming's cultivation level was also rising rapidly, and he was approaching the 3rd level of the Void G.O.D. realm. Half a month later, when Lu Ming refined the last wood crystal, his cultivation had successfully broken through to the 3rd level of the Void G.O.D. realm. 3rd level Void G.O.D. realm isn't enough to deal with Dongfang Hao, Lu Ming muttered. When he was at the 2nd level of the virtual G.O.D. realm, Lu Ming could easily defeat powerhouses at the 7th level of the virtual G.O.D. realm, such as the young man in luxurious clothes and the others. At that time, his battle power was equivalent to an 8th level Void G.O.D. realm prodigy who controlled king-grade divine power. Now that his cultivation had broken through to the 3rd level of the Void G.O.D. realm, theoretically he could fight a 9th level Void G.O.D. realm expert if he went all out. However, Lu Ming knew that he would most likely not be a match for a 9th level Void G.O.D. level powerhouse. This was because 9th level Void G.O.D. realm experts could already practice and use divine skills. There was a huge gap between them and 8th level Void G.O.D. realm experts. Once a divine skill was used, one's battle prowess would be astonishing. Moreover, Dongfang Hao was on the virtual G.O.D. ranking. His abilities must be even more terrifying. Lu Ming would most likely be no match for him now. Even if he activated the battle character formula to double his combat strength, he would not be a match for him. Lu Ming still needed to make more breakthroughs before he could fight Dongfang Hao. Chapter 2676 Sect Master of Kongxian Sect Lease Reading Omicron N Novel Cool. Omicron M. Everyone thought that Lu Ming was trying to stall for time and take the opportunity to escape. However, Lu Ming did not have such plans at all. The reason why he gave him a year's time was to force himself to improve quickly. He wanted to reach the G.O.D. King realm in the shortest time possible. Continue. He closed his eyes and continued to cultivate and comprehend the battle character formula. In the blink of an eye, another 2 months had passed. In the core area of the Kongxian sect, a figure was waiting in front of a secret chamber. If Lu Ming was here, he would definitely recognize this figure. He was the outer sect elder who had brought them to Kongxian sect during the assessment for the recruitment of disciples, Huoquan. Gotcha. The door of the secret room opened, and an old man with white hair and a white beard walked out. The old man's eyes seemed to be filled with wisdom. Huoquan pays his respects to the sect master. Huoquan immediately saluted respectfully. This old man was the sect leader of the Kongxian sect, Dragon Boat Mountain. Huoquan, why are you looking for this lord? Dragon Boat Mountain said. Because of the new disciples, sect master was in closed-door cultivation before, so I didn't come to disturb you. I heard that sect master is about to come out of closed-door cultivation, so I came to report. Huoquan said. A new disciple? You can just arrange this matter, why do you need to report to me? Dragon Boat Mountain said indifferently, a hint of displeasure on his face. Sect leader, it's different this time. There's a little guy inside. I suspect that the divine power he controls is divine-grade divine power. Huoquan immediately bowed and said, What? Dragon Boat Mountain's eyes widened as a terrifying aura burst out from his body. This aura was as vast as the universe. Even with Huoquan's heavenly D realm cultivation base, he was still suppressed by this aura. His body trembled violently and he spat out a mouthful of blood. However, the aura of the Dragon Boat Mountain was immediately retracted. However, his eyes still revealed deep shock. Divine grade divine power. Is what you said true? Dragon Boat Mountain asked as he stared at Huoquan. This subordinate is not very sure. During the disciple recruitment test, I observed his moves many times, but that little fellow cultivates a special secret technique that can conceal his divine power aura very well. I am only suspicious, but I am not 100% sure. Huoquan said. Bring him here, I want to examine him personally. Dragon Boat Mountain said. Yes. Huoquan bowed and took his leave. Divine grade divine power, divine grade divine power. Dragon Boat Mountain muttered. His eyes flickered with a fiery light that was mixed with a hint of ferocity. Someone's coming again. Lu Ming was cultivating. Sensing that there were people outside, he ended his cultivation and walked out. Elder Huoquan. At the sight of Huoquan, Lu Ming was slightly stunned and somewhat surprised. Ever since he came to the outer sect of Kongshen sect, Lu Ming had not seen Huoquan. Now Huoquan suddenly came to look for him. What was the matter? Could it be about the battle with Dongfang Hao? Lu Ming made a guess. Lu Ming greets Elder Hua. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said, Lu Ming, come with me. The sect master wants to see you. Huoquan smiled and sized Lu Ming up. There was a hint of shock in his eyes. He remembered very clearly that Lu Ming's cultivation was only at the D realm during the 13 clans assessment. Now he had actually reached the 3rd level of the Void D realm. It had only been a few years and such a cultivation speed was simply too shocking. Lu Ming himself was stunned. The sect master wanted to see him? He was only an outer sect disciple who had just entered the sect. Why would the sect master of Kongshen sect want to see him all of a sudden? Follow me. Huoquan suppressed the shock in his heart, turned around and flew away. Lu Ming could only suppress the doubts in his heart and follow Huoquan. The outer sect of the Kongshen sect was located on a huge mountain range. One would reach the inner sect area if they went deep into the mountain range. This was not a single mountain range but rather several. They were like enormous dragons that were intertwining with each other. The divine chi here was extremely dense, and the cultivation conditions here were even better than the outer sect. Lu Ming followed Huoquan and flew into the inner sect area. Not long after they arrived at a mountain peak. There was a grand hall on the mountain peak. Lu Ming followed Huoquan into the main hall and saw an old man with white hair and a beard. The old man had a smile on his face, but he exuded a sense of majesty that made people not dare to look at him directly. Subordinate greets sect master. Huoquan bowed respectfully. Disciple Lu Ming greets the sect master. Lu Ming followed suit and bowed. Huoquan, you may leave. Dragon Boat Mountain waved his hand. Huoquan left respectfully, leaving only Lu Ming and the Dragon Boat Mountain in the hall. The Dragon Boat Mountain's eyes flickered with a strange light as it sized Lu Ming up. For some reason Lu Ming felt goosebumps. Ampious all over his body when the Dragon Boat Mountain's gaze swept over him. It was as if he was being stared at by an extremely terrifying venomous snake. All of a sudden, a radiance emanated from Dragon Boat's body. Rays of blood-red divine power condensed into venomous snakes that pounced toward Lu Ming. They were filled with terrifying killing intent. Lu Ming was shocked. He had never expected that the sect master of Kongshen sect would try to kill him. He had never met him or offended him, so why would he do this? Even though he knew that there was a huge difference between his cultivation and his opponents, Lu Ming would not give up without a fight. He retreated quickly. However, as soon as Lu Ming retreated, the Thi behind him seemed to have solidified and completely blocked his retreat. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. A few venomous snakes wrapped themselves around Lu Ming. They were formed from the divine power of the dragon boat. They were astonishingly powerful. The terrifying power rushed into Lu Ming's body, and he felt a tearing pain. Break! Lu Ming roared. And NBSP at this moment he had no time to hide. He unleashed all of his sovereign divine power, violet gold in color as he charged at the venomous snakes. At the same time, a red gold armor appeared on Lu Ming's body. This was the divine skill 9-stage crimson gold armor. When it was used, it was as if a suit of armor had covered the body. Divine grade divine power, it really is divine grade divine power, and it's even a ruler's divine power. The dragon boat's eyes burned with pious shine as they looked at the divine energy circulating around Lu Ming's body. With a wave of their hands, the venomous snakes that were coiling around Lu Ming's body disappeared without a trace. Oh. Lu Ming felt his entire body relax. He could not help but gasp for air, a layer of cold sweat breaking out on his body. Sect Master, what is the meaning of this? Lu Ming looked at Dragon Boat Mountain with a gloomy expression. No one would be in a good mood if she tried to kill him the moment they met. Not bad, not bad. You have indeed mastered divine-grade divine power. Dragon Boat Mountain's face was filled with joy as he repeatedly nodded his head. He was extremely excited. Lu Ming frowned. The other party was only trying to test if he had mastered the divine-grade divine energy? Your name is Lu Ming, right? In the future, I will nurture you well and let you grow up as soon as possible. Dragon Boat Mountain said. Thank you, sect leader. Lu Ming said. Chapter 2677 Dark Dragon Blood Curse Lease reading Omicron N Novel Cool. Omicron. However, I have a condition. Dragon Boat Mountain's tone suddenly changed as he said, I will nurture you well, but you have to swear on your life source that you will listen to my every word in the future. You will do whatever I tell you to do, understand? Lu Ming's eyes suddenly narrowed and his face darkened. The meaning behind Dragon Boat Mountain's words was clear. They would nurture Lu Ming in the future. However, Lu Ming had to listen to their every word. This was no different from becoming a tool for Dragon Boat Mountain. The other party wanted to use him as a knife to achieve some kind of goal. How could Lu Ming agree? Sect Master, I swear on my life source that there's no need to do so. You're the Sect Master. If there's anything that you need Lu Ming's help with in the future, he'll definitely do his best. Lu Ming said. Are you rejecting me? Dragon Boat Mountain's expression turned cold, and a dangerous light flickered in his eyes. I swear on my life source. Please forgive Lu Ming for not being able to agree to this. Lu Ming said with a determined expression. Once he swore on his life source, Lu Ming would at the very least become the Dragon Boat's puppet in the future. He would not be able to act on his own. Unable to agree? Today you have to agree even if you don't want to. If you can't be used by me, I'd rather destroy you. The Dragon Boat Mountain's expression turned even gloomier, and his tone was frosty. A wave of terrifying killing intent enveloped Lu Ming, causing him to shiver. Lu Ming did not expect the sect leader of the Kongxian sect to be so despicable. Once they knew that he could control divine-grade divine power, they wanted to control him. As the master of a sect, he actually threatened his disciples like this. If this were to spread out, I don't know how many people would be bitterly disappointed. Lu Ming suppressed the anger in his heart. Are you threatening me? Dragon Boat Mountain said coldly. I'm telling the truth. If you want to kill me today, just do it. You want me to swear? Dream on. Lu Ming confronted him without any fear. Although he didn't want to die, he would rather die than be the other party's puppet. Hehehe, you have a backbone and aren't afraid of death. But do you think it's useful to be unafraid of death? You think I can't deal with you if you don't swear? How naive. I'll plant the dark dragon blood curse on you and make you wish you were dead. The Dragon Boat Mountain roared and grabbed at the air. Lu Ming felt a powerful force grabbing at him. He could not resist at all and was caught in the dragon boat's hands. Then, the fingers on the dragon boat pointed out continuously. One after another, terrifying rune arcs slithered into Lu Ming's body like blood-red vipers. Roar. Lu Ming let out a beast-like roar because it was too painful. At this moment, Lu Ming's body felt as if it was being bitten by countless small snakes. It was extremely uncomfortable and painful. Hee hee haha, enjoy my dark dragon blood curse. The dragon boats sneered continuously. They waved their fingers faster and faster, and more blood-red runes burrowed into Lu Ming's body, intertwining to form a terrifying array. Old man, you old man who won't die, you are despicable and shameless. Lu Ming cursed in pain. Curse all you want, I'll let you curse all you want. Dragon Boat Mountain sneered. You old fart, how dare you call yourself the leader of a sect? You're shameless, perverted, and utterly devoid of conscience. Your son doesn't have an A. You're impotent at night. By Tianyang F***CK. Lu Ming's mouth did not stop. He was shooting like a machine gun. After hanging out with Dandan for so long, it was not for nothing. Even though Dragon Boat Mountain's will was firm, he was scolded to the point that his eyelids kept twitching. After a short while, the Dragon Boat Mountain finally stopped moving. The dark dragon blood curse had already been laid down. Lu Ming's body emitted a piercing red light. It was like countless small snakes that wrapped around his body, causing him to suffer endless pain. This pain was worse than being cut into pieces. In the end, Lu Ming did not even have the strength to curse. He fell to the ground and panted heavily. Now you know how powerful I am. The dragon boats sneered. With a wave of their hands, the runes on Lu Ming's body, which were like vipers, disappeared. The pain on Lu Ming's body also disappeared. Lu Ming looked into his body and realized that the runes that were like poisonous snakes had disappeared without a trace. He could not detect them at all. The dark dragon blood curse has been hidden deep in your body. As long as I think about it, you will be in extreme pain and even die instantly. Now your life and death are completely in my hands. Do you understand? Dragon Boat Mountain said coldly. You're really despicable. Tell me, what do you want me to do? Lu Ming gritted his teeth. He planned to calm the old man down first, then think of a way to get rid of the dark dragon blood curse in his body. There's no rush. Your cultivation is still too weak now. When your cultivation improves, it'll naturally need you. Remember, you'd better be obedient. Otherwise it'll make you disappear completely. Dragon Boat Mountain said coldly. He then took out a golden token and threw it to Lu Ming. This is a gold token, the highest quality token in the Kongshen sect. With this token, other than some restricted areas, you can enter anywhere you want in the Kongshen sect. You can also enter some cultivation sacred grounds. Cultivate well. With that, the Dragon Boat Mountain waved its hand and Lu Ming was pushed out by a force. In it. Lu Ming's expression was extremely cold. The other party naturally did not have good intentions when they gave him the gold token. They only hoped that he would improve as soon as possible and be of use to him in the future. Lu Ming lowered his head and pondered for a moment. He kept the gold token and walked out. Not long after he saw Huo Quan. Lu Ming, how is it? What did the sect master say to you? With a talent like yours, the sect master will probably put in a lot of effort to cultivate you. Huo Quan said with a smile. His smile was very clean, as if he didn't know anything. This Huo Quan, doesn't he know how despicable the Dragon Boat Mountain is? Lu Ming was puzzled. He nodded casually and said, It's all right. They'll send you back. Huo Quan said. He then brought Lu Ming out of the inner sect area and returned to the outer sect area. After returning to his residence, Lu Ming immediately went into seclusion. He circulated the universe Thousand Dao art with all his might. The Dominator's divine power seeped into every part of his body and swam through every inch of his muscles, bones, and even his internal organs. He wanted to find the dark dragon blood curse and destroy it. However, after using his ruler's divine power to make a full circle, he found nothing. That old man, since he knows that I have control over the ruler's divine power, he definitely knows that I can't destroy the dark dragon blood curse with the ruler's divine power. Lu Ming's face was gloomy. He had not expected the sect leader of the Kongshen sect to be such a despicable, cunning, and shameless person. For now, I can only play along and calm the other party down. They'll find a way to break the dark dragon blood curse in the future. Lu Ming, will remember this grudge today. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a cold light. He had been through countless storms and waves on his way here. He didn't believe that he wouldn't be able to overcome this obstacle. Lu Ming then took out the gold token. Since you want to cultivate me well, then I'll borrow your strength to improve my strength first. Lu Ming pondered. Then he left the outer gate area and headed toward the inner gate. There were many cultivation sanctuaries in the inner sect. With this golden token, Lu Ming could use those cultivation sanctuaries to cultivate and improve his strength. Chapter 2678 Inner Sect Area Lease Reading Omicron N Novel Cool. Omicron M. Lu Ming went to the inner sect area again, but he was blocked at an entrance. Stop. Two burly men in black appeared in front of Lu Ming, blocking his way. These two black-robed men's auras were as thick as mountains. With a single glance, one could tell that they were terrifying experts. Two seniors, I want to go in. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said, You're going in? Little fellow, hurry up and leave. Outer disciples are not allowed to enter unless there are special circumstances. A burly man in black casually waved his hand and revealed a look of contempt. They could tell at a glance that Lu Ming's cultivation was only at 3rd level Void G.O.D. realm. With such a cultivation, even in the outer sect, he would be at the bottom. How dare he enter the inner sect? Lu Ming's expression was calm. He knew that this would happen. The last time he came here, he was not stopped because he was with Huo Quan. This time he was alone. It was normal for him to be stopped. Seniors, this is my token. Lu Ming took out the gold token. Token? What token? The two men in black casually glanced over, and their eyes instantly widened. Wong. Gold token. The two of them were tongue-tied and almost bit their own tongues. They had never expected that Lu Ming would have a gold token. In the Kongshen sect there were very few people who had a gold token. Apart from a few holy sons and holy virgins, only a few people had golden tokens, but they all had N.O. Bli ident. 1. Ties. However, Lu Ming was merely a third-level void G.O.D. They had never seen him before. How could he have a gold token? Could it be? This kid is a disciple secretly taken in by some big shot? The two black-robed men thought to themselves, and their faces immediately revealed a respectful expression. So it turns out that little brother has a gold token, then you can naturally enter. Please come in. The two of them immediately changed their expressions, nodding and bowing, trying to please him. Many thanks. Lu Ming smiled and was about to step in. Wait a moment. At this moment, a delicate shout came from behind. There was a flash of light and a young and beautiful girl appeared beside Lu Ming. The young lattice skin was like jade, and her facial features were exquisite. She was a rare beauty. She blinked her big eyes and sized Lu Ming up curiously. Who are you? I've never seen it before. Where did you get the gold token? Miss, I don't think I need to tell you where I got the gold token. Lu Ming smiled faintly. You won't tell me? You just don't dare to tell me, right? Tell me, did you steal your gold token? The young girl widened her eyes as if she wanted to see through Lu Ming. Lu Ming was speechless. Miss, the people who have the gold tokens all have high cultivation levels. Moreover, they're all hidden in their storage rings. Where am I supposed to go to steal them? That's true. The young girl was stunned and pouted. Miss, I still have something to do, so I'll take my leave first. Having said that, Lu Ming walked toward the entrance. Hey, wait for me. You still haven't told me where you got your gold token from. The young girl shouted and followed Lu Ming. The two men in black seemed to be very familiar with the girl. They ignored her and allowed her to enter. This girl's ident. 1. Tai isn't simple. She's only at the void G.O.D. realm, but she didn't stop him. Lu Ming's heart stirred. He could sense that the girl's cultivation base hadn't reached the true G.O.D. realm yet. She should still be at the ethereal G.O.D. realm. Those at the void spirit realm were considered to be in the outer sect, so they shouldn't be able to enter the inner sect. Of course, this was with the exception of some special people, such as the disciples or descendants of some great figure. Hey, you still haven't told me where the gold token came from? Tell me, just tell me. The young girl followed Lu Ming closely and muttered to herself. Lu Ming was speechless. He could tell that the young girl had no ill intentions towards him, and was just purely curious. Miss, I'll tell you the truth. This gold token was given to me by the sect master. Lu Ming said helplessly. Did the sect master give it to you? The young girl blinked her big eyes and became even more curious. Why did the sect master give you a gold token? What's your relationship with the sect master? Could it be that you're the sect master's private disciple? Or are you the sect master's illegitimate child? Lu Ming almost spat out a mouthful of blood 3 feet away. What was this little girl thinking? The hole in his brain was too big. Don't make wild guesses. It's not what you think. Lu Ming said. If it's not what I'm thinking, then what is it? The young girl asked again. Lu Ming was powerless. He could not be bothered with the young girl and strode forward. However, the young girl was like a shadow, following Lu Ming closely. She seemed to be determined not to give up until she figured out what was going on. Lu Ming could not be bothered with the other party. He buried his head in his journey. Hey, Im Ling Long, what's your name? Hey, where are you going? Hey, that's where the inner sect disciples go to the toilet. What are you doing there? Lu Ming stopped in his tracks, his face turning red. This is my first time in the inner sect. Lu Ming explained awkwardly. It's your first time here. If you want to find a place, I can lead the way. The young lady smiled. I want to find a place to cultivate. It's best if it's the kind of place that can quickly improve cultivation. Lu Ming said. The Divine Pulse Tower is the best place for cultivation. The Divine Qi in the Divine Pulse Tower is extremely dense. It even contains a trace of the power of the Divine Pulse, which can help people improve their cultivation quickly. The young girl said. Divine Pulse Tower? How do we get there? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Hey, you still haven't told me your name. The young girl widened her eyes. My name is Lu Ming. Lu Ming coughed drily and explained. Lu Ming? What an uncouth name. The young girl pouted while Lu Ming's face darkened. Let's go. I'll take you to the Divine Pulse Tower. But I'll tell you that you'll have to spend points to cultivate in the Divine Pulse Tower. The young girl said. Points? What points? Lu Ming was stunned. You don't even know the points? The young lady rolled her eyes and had a look of disdain on her face. Lu Ming's face turned even darker. He realized that he had been despised by the young lady many times in just a short while. Points? Of course it's sect points. You can obtain points by completing missions signed by the sect. The points are very useful in the sect. You can enter a cultivation place to cultivate, and you can even exchange them for divine artifacts, various divine skills, divine techniques and secret skills. The young girl explained. Lu Ming understood now. The Kangxian sect's so-called points were like the contribution points in other places. Lu Ming started to have a headache. He did not have any points at all. It seemed that he could not go. You don't have points, do you? How about this? Do you have divine crystals? You can exchange divine crystals for points, but it's not worth it. 10,000 divine crystals can only be exchanged for 1 point. Cultivating in the divine pulse tower will cost 1 point a day. The young girl said. Lu Ming gasped in shock. This was too expensive. It cost 1 point a day to cultivate in the divine pulse tower, which was equivalent to 10,000 divine crystals. It was extremely shocking. It's a pity that I don't have many points left. Otherwise I could sell some to you at a lower price. The young girl muttered. Chapter 2679 Cultivation Base Broken Again Lease Reading Omicron N Novel Cool. Omicron M I do have some divine artifacts on me. Where can I sell divine artifacts here? I'll sell them and exchange them for some points. Lu Ming gritted his teeth. In the end he decided to go to the divine pulse tower to cultivate. No matter how many divine crystals he had, it was useless to keep them. The only way was to convert them into power. And NBSP he still had some middle-quality divine artifacts on hand that he could sell. Let's go, I'll take you there. The young lady led the way, followed by Lu Ming. Not long after they arrived at a bustling place. This place was the place in the intersect area where people exchanged and sold all kinds of treasures. At the moment, Lu Ming still had 11 middle-grade divine artifacts. Lu Ming planned to sell 6 of them and keep 5. The price of a middle-grade divine artifact was naturally not something that a low-grade divine artifact could compare to. A good level 9 low-grade G.O.D. artifact could be sold for 100,000 G.O.D. crystals. As for a middle-grade G.O.D. artifact, even the lowest level 1 middle-grade G.O.D. artifact could be sold for several 100,000. Lu Ming sold 6 items. Among them there were 3 level 1 middle-grade divine artifacts, 2 level 2 middle-grade divine artifacts, and 1 level 3 middle-grade divine artifact. After selling it he got a total of 3.6 million G.O.D. crystals. The young girl widened her eyes in shock. She did not expect Lu Ming to be so rich. After that, Lu Ming bought a huge pile of divine artifact fragments. They were all fragments of divine artifacts of level 7 low-grade and above. There were fragments of level 7 low-grade to level 9 low-grade divine artifacts. Lu Ming spent 200,000 divine crystals on the huge pile. These divine artifact fragments were enough for Qiu to eat for a period of time. After that, Lu Ming followed Yu Linglong to the points redemption main hall. He used 1.6 million points to redeem 160 points. Let's go and cultivate. With a large number of points, Lu Ming was full of pride. He waved his hand and walked towards the Divine Pulse Tower with Yu Linglong. Is this the Divine Pulse Tower? It looks ordinary. Soon they arrived at the foot of a giant tower. The tower looked very ancient, but it didn't give off any aura, as if it were just made of some random giant stones. Let's go. The effect of cultivation on each floor of the Divine Pulse Tower is almost the same. It's 1 point a day. Yu Linglong said and walked toward the Divine Pulse Tower. Someone was guarding the Divine Pulse Tower. Take out your ident. 1. Tie tokens and register. An old man at the foot of the Divine Pulse Tower said. Lu Ming and Yu Linglong took out their ident. 1. Tie tokens and handed them to the old man. The points were all recorded in their ident. 1. Tie tokens. The old man placed their ident. 1. Tie tokens on a disk array. The disk array flashed a few times and returned the ident. 1. Tie tokens to the 2. Go in. Remember, 1 point will be consumed for 1 day of cultivation in the Divine Pulse Tower. When the points in your ident. 1. Tie tokens are used up, the formation of the Divine Pulse Tower will throw you out, but you'll be embarrassed. Said. So, you'd better get out of the Divine Pulse Tower before your points are used up. The old man warned. The two of them nodded and walked into the Divine Pulse Tower. There were secret rooms in the Divine Pulse Tower. All the secret rooms on the first floor were occupied. The two of them went to the second floor. Oh, Lo Lu Ming. If you have any questions in the future, you can ask me. Here. With that, you Ling Long Pias, said Lu Ming, a voice transmission jade talisman, and walked into a secret room. Lu Ming smiled and entered a secret room. The door of the secret room closed automatically. Lu Ming sat cross-legged and started cultivating with the universe thousand Tao scripture. Ooh. Immediately, the rich divine qi in the surroundings gathered towards Lu Ming. What a dense divine qi! Lu Ming was secretly shocked. The divine qi here was so dense that it was almost tangible. It was many times faster than absorbing divine crystals. It even contained a trace of strange energy. Once it entered Lu Ming's body, it was quickly transformed into Lu Ming's divine power and could even help to temper his divine body. So fast. The cultivation speed here is many times faster than outside. 10,000 divine crystals. It's worth it. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Before, he had been worried about the divine crystals. 10,000 divine crystals could only help him cultivate for a day. But now he felt that it was worth it. Although it was very expensive, he would definitely be able to break through quickly and break through his cultivation. However, before he focused on cultivation, Lu Ming took out a pile of divine artifact fragments and put them aside for Qiu Qiu to eat slowly. As for him, he began to focus on cultivation. In the blink of an eye, 3 months passed. Lu Ming's cultivation had skyrocketed and he was already at peak 3rd level virtual G. Oh. D level, only a step away from 4th level virtual G. Oh. D level. One had to know that it was not easy to break through to the void G. Oh. D realm. Many people would need hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of years to do so. He, on the other hand, had only used 3 months to reach the 4th level of the void G. Oh. D realm. This was all because of the Divine Pulse Tower. Begin the assault. Lu Ming had an idea and the divine energy in his body quickly circulated. Boom, boom, boom. His body seemed to be rumbling as he started to break through to the 4th level of the void G. Oh. D realm. Not long after, his aura skyrocketed, and it was much stronger than before. 4th level void G. Oh. D realm breakthrough. A smile appeared on Lu Ming's face. Now that he had broken through to the 4th level of the void G. Oh. D realm, Lu Ming was even more confident in his battle with Dongfang Hao. It's worth it to break through to the 4th level of the void G. Oh. D realm in 3 months. Lu Ming smiled. Although he didn't need 900,000 divine crystals to break through to the 4th level of the void G. Oh. D realm, it would take dozens or even hundreds of times longer. In the Divine Pulse Tower, he had broken through in 3 months, which was equivalent to spending a large number of divine crystals to buy time. What Lu Ming lacked the most now was time. Was all worth it? He could earn more divine crystals once his cultivation increased. In less than a year, my cultivation has increased by 2 levels. I need to stop and polish it. I can use the rest of my time to cultivate my divine skills. Although Lu Ming was now more confident in his fight against Dongfang Hao, he could not afford to miss out on the 9-fold golden armor and the 3 apocalyptic strikes if he wanted to be 100% confident. If these 2 divine skills had a breakthrough, he would be more confident. Lu Ming immediately left the Divine Pulse Tower. Senior, may I ask if there's a place to cultivate a divine skill in the inner sect? When he arrived outside the Divine Pulse Tower, Lu Ming asked the elder who was guarding the Divine Pulse Tower. There are some places that ordinary disciples are forbidden from entering. The old man glanced at Lu Ming and said indifferently, "Senior, this is my token." Lu Ming took out the gold token again. A gold token. The old man's eyes suddenly widened. He sized Lu Ming up carefully in surprise. He obviously did not expect that Lu Ming, a virtual G.O.D. level disciple, would have a gold token. With the gold token, you can go to most of the places in the intersect area. The best place to cultivate a divine skill is, of course, the Divine Skill Valley. I have a map of the intersect area here, you can use it. The old man took out a map and said it to Lu Ming. The reason why he was so nice to Lu Ming was naturally because he guessed that Lu Ming was the disciple of some big shot and he wanted to befriend and build a good relationship with Lu Ming. Chapter 2680 Placing a Bet Lease Reading Omicron N Novel Cool. Omicron, many thanks, Senior. Lu Ming took the map and scanned it with his spiritual senses. A map appeared in his mind. It was a map of the entire intersect area. The addresses, buildings and cultivation places were all clearly marked on it. This gold token is quite useful, Lu Ming pondered. Although he had been cursed by the Dragon Boat Mountain with the Dark Dragon Blood Curse, at least it was not without any benefits. At the very least, the golden token was still very useful to him. Without the gold token, he would not be able to enter the inner sect area, let alone these cultivation places. It would be difficult for him to make a breakthrough in his cultivation in a short period of time. Following the map, Lu Ming walked towards the Divine Skill Valley. The Divine Skill Valley was the best place to cultivate divine skills in the inner gate area. Of course, it also required points, but it was slightly cheaper, 1 point for 5 days of cultivation. Lu Ming's eyed it. 1. Tai token still had 70 points. It was enough for him to cultivate for 350 days. Lu Ming entered the Divine Skill Valley and devoted himself to cultivation. Time flew by and it was getting closer to the 1-year agreement between Lu Ming and Dongfang Hao. In the blink of an eye there were only 3 days left. During this period of time, the outer door was bustling with noise and excitement. Many people were discussing Lu Ming. A year's time might not be a short time for ordinary people and they could forget many things. However, for people at the Martial G.O.D. realm, a year's time was no different from a breath's time. The life and death battle between Lu Ming and Dongfang Hao was still fresh in their minds. Why hasn't Lu Ming appeared yet? I saw him go out earlier. Did he really slip away? That must be it. I told you that he's just asking for death by agreeing to Dongfang Hao's life and death duel. He's definitely going to run away. I heard that he's the first place in the disciple recruitment assessment this time. I didn't know he had no It would be a wonder if you have the guts to know that you're going to die. In the outer sect area, everyone was talking about Lu Ming. They all thought that Lu Ming had slipped away and did not dare to accept the challenge. At this moment, Lu Ming was coming out from the inner gate area. Lu Ming had a smile on his face. He had gained a lot from his cultivation during this period of time. He was very confident in his battle with Dongfang Hao. Soon he returned to the inner court area. Lu Ming is back. Instantly, this piece of news caused an uproar in the outer gate area. The people who were certain that Lu Ming had slipped away earlier were dumbfounded and speechless. You still dare to come back? You're really looking for death. Simply stupid. Lu Ming's return was a slap to these people's faces. These people flew into a rage out of humiliation. They thought that Lu Ming was so foolish that he came back to court death. In short, the news of Lu Ming's return quickly spread to the outer sect. In the Yellow Martial Palace. Good, it's good that he's back, we can kill him now. Huang Wu laughed. Don't worry. This time I'll make sure he dies a horrible death. On the side, Dongfang Hao's face was ferocious and his killing intent was cold. Come. Place your bets. If you bet on Dongfang Hao, it's 200 to 1. If you bet on Lu Ming, it's 1 to 50. Near the life and death arena, a burly man had actually started a bet on who would win between Lu Ming and Dongfang Hao. 200 to 1? You're too greedy. This ratio is too low. That's right, I bet $200 and only earned $1. Many people looked down on him. If they bet on Lu Ming winning, they would earn 50 divine crystals for each piece. However, if they bet on Dongfang Hao winning, they would only earn 1 divine crystal for each piece of divine crystal. If you don't place your bet, I'll place mine. Lu Ming is definitely going to lose. Although the ratio of 200 to 1 is a little low, it's a sure win. They'll bet 100,000 divine crystals on Dongfang Hao. An outer sect disciple had placed a bet of 100,000 divine gems. Many people's eyes lit up. That's right, Dongfang Hao was definitely going to win. Even though it wasn't a lot, it was still a profit. I'm also betting on Dongfang Hao. I'm betting 50,000 divine gems. They'll bet 200,000 divine crystals on Dongfang Hao. I also bet, there's no doubt about this battle. Dongfang Hao is definitely going to win. A large group of outer sect disciples placed their bets on Dongfang Hao. The man's face was covered in cold sweat. He also thought that Dongfang Hao would win for sure. Almost everyone had bet on Dongfang Hao, so he would lose a lot of money. He had deliberately set the odds on Lu Ming at 150. With such high odds, he initially thought that some people would take the risk and bet on Lu Ming's victory. In that case, he would be able to earn a fortune. Why don't you guys bet on Lu Ming? If you bet on Lu Ming, you'll be betting 1 with 50. The burly man shouted. Do you think I'm stupid? If I bet on Lu Ming, I'll definitely lose. That's right, I'm not giving you money for nothing. Hurry up and write me a receipt. The group of outer sect disciples clamored, and the burly man broke out in cold sweat. It's really lively. Lu Ming had just returned from the inner sect area. When he said bye and saw so many people placing their bets, he immediately became interested. Lu Ming is here. Someone called out. Immediately, everyone's eyes turned to Lu Ming. There were those who were pitying him, those who were sighing, and those who were indifferent. Anyway, they looked at Lu Ming as if he was a dead man. In their opinion, Lu Ming would definitely die in 3 days. This bet, how do you place it? What are the odds? Lu Ming's interest was piqued. He walked over and asked, if you bet on Dongfang Haoxing, the odds are 200 to 1. If you bet on Lu Ming, the odds are 1 to 50. Someone answered, Nest, my odds are so high? There should be a lot of people who bet on me winning. Lu Ming looked at the burly man. No one is betting on you winning. The burly man said with a bitter face. What? Lu Ming was depressed. How much did they look down on him? So many people bet on Dongfang Haoxing with a 200-1 payout, but he bet with a 50-1 payout and no one bet on him? Did they all think that he would lose? Everyone, because too many people are betting on Dongfang Haoxing, now the odds will be changed. The odds for those who are betting on Dongfang Haoxing will be changed to 500 to 1. The burly man shouted. What? 500 to 1? Why don't you just die? If you bet $500, you'll only earn $1. If you bet $50,000, you'll only earn $100. That's too little. It's not good to be so shameless. Many people questioned loudly, but the middle-aged man's attitude was firm. He was determined to win 500 to 1. This business is not bad. Lu Ming's gaze shifted and he had an idea. He thought of a way to earn money. Everyone, please listen to me. Lu Ming clapped his hands to attract everyone's attention. If he's not the banker, he'll be the banker. Those who want to place a bet, come to me. If you bet on Dongfang Hao, it's 100 for 1. If you bet on Lu Ming, it's a 1 for 1. Lu Ming said loudly. What? If you bet on Dongfang Haoxing, it's 100 to 1. I'm buying it, I'm buying 100,000 divine crystals. Immediately, someone placed a bet. Many people's eyes were also burning. The burly man had bet on Dongfang Hao's victory at odds of 500 to 1, but Lu Ming's bet was 100 to 1. It was 5 times higher. Everyone naturally chose Lu Ming. Chapter 2681, Inviting the Elders. Lease reading Omicron N novel cool. Omicron M. As for the odds of Lu Ming winning, they ignored it. The odds of Lu Ming winning were 150 at the burly man's bet. No one was willing to bet. Now that Lu Ming's bet was 1:1, who would still bet? Wait, we'll bet on you. If you're killed by Dongfang Hao, who will we go to for the divine crystals? That's right. When you're killed by Dongfang Hao, all your treasures will be his. Who are we going to get them from? Many people shouted. Indeed, when Lu Ming died in battle, they would not be able to get back the divine crystals they had bet with interest. How about this? I'll find an elder of the Tribunal Council to be my witness and hand over all the divine crystals. If I die in battle, you can go to the elder to collect the divine crystals. Lu Ming said. Find an elder of the Tribunal Council as a witness? Who do you think you are? You're able to invite an elder of the Tribunal Council? You don't even need a draft to brag. Many people looked down on him. The enforcement hall's elders were high and mighty. How could Lu Ming, a new outer sect disciple, be able to invite them? We'll know if I can or not after a while. You guys wait for me here, I'll be right back. With that, Lu Ming rose into the air and headed for the law enforcement hall. There was an enforcement hall in both the inner and outer gates. The law enforcement hall was in charge of law enforcement. It had great power and its words were final. Lu Ming really went to invite the elders of the enforcement hall. Can he really invite them? How is that possible? Do you believe that I can invite the sect master just as he can invite the magic elders? Regardless of whether it's true or not, let's just wait for a while. It won't take much time anyway. The crowd discussed and waited. The news of Lu Ming being the banker and placing bets had spread. More outer sect disciples had gathered in this area. It even attracted some outer sect deacons and elders. Soon, a huge palace appeared in front of Lu Ming. This was the outer law enforcement hall. Stop. At the entrance of the law enforcement hall, 2 young men stopped Lu Ming. I would like to see the enforcement palace's elder. Lu Ming said. You're just a 4th level ethereal G.O.D. realm warrior. You want to meet an elder of the Tribunal Council? What a joke, get lost. A young man waved his hand, his attitude was bad. Lu Ming frowned. He was clear that those who held positions in the Tribunal Council were not outer sect disciples, but inner sect disciples. They were all at the true God realm or above, otherwise, how could they suppress so many outer sect disciples? It was normal for these people to look down on him. The two of you can just go and report. Lu Ming said, neither servile nor overbearing. Report? Who do you think you are? On what basis do you want us to report? It was still the same young man who sneered coldly. The people of the enforcement hall had great power. Most of the outer sect disciples were trembling with fear when they saw them. However, Lu Ming's expression was calm when he saw them. This made them a little unhappy. With this, is it okay? Lu Ming said coldly and took out the gold token. Why is it useless? What? Yellow. Gold token? The young man was arrogant at first, but when he saw the golden token, he almost bit his tongue and his eyes almost popped out. Now go and pass the message. Lu Ming said with a sullen face. Yes. I failed to recognize Mao Tai just now. This young master, I hope that a great man like you will not hold a grudge against me and not lower yourself to my level. The young man who berated Lu Ming earlier broke out in a cold sweat. He bowed his head in fear and trepidation. He knew very well that whoever had a golden token was definitely someone with a great background. He couldn't afford to offend them. He wished that he could slap himself. He hated himself for having a cheap mouth just now. He did not know how Lu Ming would deal with him. Go and pass the message. Lu Ming said coldly. Yes, please wait a moment. The young man nodded and bowed, then quickly ran in to pass on the message. Not long after, 3 old men in black robes inlaid with gold followed the young man out. These 3 old men were the outer sect enforcement hall's elders. Black robes with gold embellishments were their symbol. Little brother, do you really have a gold token? One of the elders looked at Lu Ming. Not bad. Lu Ming took out the gold token again. It really is a gold token. The 3 old men looked at each other and saw the surprise in each other's eyes. Little brother, why are you looking for us? An elder said with a pleasant expression. As the enforcement hall's elders, they knew much more inside information. They knew very well that only the sect master and a few grand supreme elders had the golden token of the Kongshen sect. Lu Ming was young and his cultivation level was not high, but he actually had a golden token. It was obvious that he had an unusual relationship with the sect master or the grand supreme elders. Naturally, they had to curry favor with him. Seniors, it's like this. Lu Ming told them about his intention to set up a bet and asked them to be the witnesses. So it's this matter. This is a small matter, well go with you. That's right, it's a small matter. The few elders were all smiles. The eyelids of the 2 young men guarding the door twitched. They could swear to the heavens that if anyone else dared to come and find the 3 law enforcement elders to witness such a ridiculous thing, they would definitely be slapped to death by them. However, they were not displeased with Lu Ming at all. It was all because of the gold token. Then he'll have to trouble the seniors. Lu Ming cupped his fists. A small matter, just a small matter. A few enforcement hall elders smiled amicably, then flew toward the outer gate area with Lu Ming. More and more people gathered around the life and death battle stage in the outer gate area. And NBSP Huang Wu, Huang Wen, Dongfang Hao, and the others had also arrived. He's here, Lu Ming is here. Suddenly, someone shouted. Everyone looked in the same direction. Then, everyone's eyes couldn't help but widen. Behind Lu Ming were 3 old men in black robes inlaid with gold. They were all too familiar to the outer sect disciples. They were the elders of the law enforcement hall. Nest, are my eyes playing tricks on me? Are those really elders of the tribunal council? And there are 3 of them? I'm F** King Super. Your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. I saw it too. My G.O.D. What's this kid's background? He's actually able to invite an elder of the enforcement palace. The people who were certain that Lu Ming would not be able to invite the enforcement hall's elder felt as if their throats were blocked by a ball of dog fur. Their faces were flushed red. This kid, Huang Wen, Huang Wu and the rest narrowed their eyes. They could not help but guess that Lu Ming had some kind of background. Then they all shook their heads. They had inquired about Lu Ming's background. He was just an outer sect disciple who had just entered the sect. He was talented but he did not have any background. No matter what methods he used, he will die in a few days. Dongfang Hao said coldly. He had absolute confidence in himself. Chapter 2682, 200 million G.O.D. Crystal's lease reading Omicron N novel cool. Omicron M soon Lu Ming and the 3 tribunal council elders arrived. Everyone, I've invited the 3 tribunal council elders. You can rest assured now. Lu Ming said loudly. Don't worry everyone. We can bear witness to this. An elder of the tribunal council spoke and said no more. After all, they were a little embarrassed. Said to witness such a thing. I have a question. Even with the 3 elders of the tribunal council as witnesses, do you have enough divine crystals to compensate us if we win? An outer sect disciple shouted. That's right. If you're trying to trick us, then we've bet for nothing. That's right. How many divine crystals do you have? Many people asked. Indeed, they had their doubts. They were afraid that Lu Ming did not have that many divine crystals with him. I know you don't believe me, so I'll show you. Lu Ming waved his hand and a pile of divine crystals appeared in the air, exuding a strong divine chi fluctuation. Here are 1.5 million divine crystals. According to the odds of 1 to 1, it's enough for you to bet 150 million divine crystals. Lu Ming said loudly. Lu Ming had sold some middle-grade divine artifacts and had 1.6 million divine crystals left. So many divine crystals. Lu Ming is actually so rich. Many people's eyes lit up. And NBSP, in addition, if you're still worried, you can also N off this middle-quality divine artifact. Zhao Feng said. Lu Ming took out 2 divine weapons. Lu Ming still had 5 middle-grade divine artifacts left. They were all level 3 middle-grade divine artifacts and above. Now he took out 2 of them, both of which were level 4 middle-grade divine artifacts. Each of them could be sold for 150,000 divine crystals. The 2 swords could be sold for a total of 3 million yuan, and even many outer sect deacons were looking at them with burning eyes. Lu Ming actually has so many divine crystals and treasures on him. He's really willing to take them out. He knows he's about to die, so he's not going to bring it with him. He's just trying to give it away before he dies so that Dongfang Hao won't take advantage of it. Definitely. Many people thought that Lu Ming knew that he was no match for Dongfang Hao and was going to die at his hands. He was not willing to let his wealth fall into Dongfang Hao's hands, so he distributed his wealth in this way to disgust Dongfang Hao. In it. As expected, Dongfang Hao was disgusted and roared in his heart. He did not expect that Lu Ming would have so much wealth on him. In his opinion, as long as he killed Lu Ming, all this wealth would be his. However, Lu Ming actually wanted to distribute this wealth. His heart was bleeding. Alright, let's place our bets now. If you bet on Dongfang Hao, 100 for 1. If you bet on me, 100 for 1. Lu Ming shouted. I'll bet 200,000 on Dongfang Hao. I bet 300,000 divine crystals on Dongfang Hao. He'll bet 200,000 divine crystals too. At once, a group of outer sect disciples rushed forward in a frenzy. They were betting on Dongfang Haoxing with almost all their assets. In their opinion, Lu Ming was giving away his wealth. It would be a waste if they did not take it. One by one, don't worry, I'll write a written pledge for you. Lu Ming took out his brush and ink and wrote down notes one after another. Then, piles of divine crystals were stored in Lu Ming's storage ring. In a short while, Lu Ming had collected 50 million divine crystals. If you buy 100, you'll have to pay 1. If you buy 1,000,000, you'll earn 10,000. It's a waste if you don't buy it. Even some of the outer sect deacons were tempted. Of course, the outer sect elders just smiled. They didn't care about the divine crystals. Big brother, shall we go bet as well? Huang Wu looked at Huang Wen. Good. Lu Ji, go and place a bet for me. 5 million divine crystals. Huang Wen said. With a wave of his hand, a storage ring flew towards one of the young men. He couldn't show up himself, so he called another young man to help. As expected of a genius of the inner sect, he offered 5 million in one go. Lu Ji took it and went to bet on Lu Ming. Lu Ming received more and more divine crystals. Very soon he had received more than 100 million. At this moment, a few figures appeared beside Lu Ming. They were the outer sect deacons. Lu Zhong. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. One of the outer sect deacons was Lu Zhong. Back then in the forest he had wanted to kill Lu Ming. Deacons, do you also want to place a bet? Lu Ming said. What's wrong? You don't welcome me? Lu sneered. You're welcome. Of course you're welcome. How much are you betting? Lu Ming said with a smile. I'll bet 20 million low-grade divine crystals. Lu Zhong took out a storage ring. I'll give you 10 million too. I'll also pay 15 million. A few deacons spoke one after another. These deacons were all from the Tianhong sect. Lu Ming did not stand on ceremony and accepted them one by one. Interesting, shall we play? If I can earn divine crystals, why wouldn't I? At that moment, a group of young men and women flew toward Lu Ming. All of them had a strong aura and were full of confidence. Many outer sect disciples' expressions changed when they saw this, and they revealed looks of respect. A heaven's favorite on the virtual G.O.D. ranking list. These young men and women were all heaven's favorites on the virtual G.O.D. ranking. They were all ranked above Dongfang Hao and were definitely powerful. This time, the battle between Lu Ming and Dongfang Hao had attracted the attention of other virtual G.O.D. rankers. Place your bets. Lu Ming swept a glance at these people. This kid really doesn't know what's good for him. I'll bet 5 million. A purple-robed young man took out a storage ring and said indifferently. He looked at Lu Ming as if he was looking at a dead man. He's just joined the sect and he's already challenging Dongfang Hao. What a fool. I'll bet 5 million too. Another young man chimed in. These people were all geniuses from the Floating Light faction. They belonged to the same faction as Dongfang Hao. Naturally, they did not like Lu Ming. Lu Ming sneered. He did not reject anything and took all of them. In the end, Lu Ming received a total of 200 million divine crystals. If he lost, he would have to pay 2 million G.O.D. crystals. 200 million. Ah, I'm rich now. I can cultivate in any of the cultivation sanctuaries in the inner sect. Lu Ming was overjoyed. All right, he'll hand over the divine crystals I've received and my own to the elders of the Tribunal Council for safekeeping. If I die in battle, you can go to the elders to collect the divine crystals according to the receipt. Lu Ming handed a few storage rings to the 3 Tribunal Council elders. Then Lu Ming looked at Dongfang Hao and said, Dongfang Hao, why don't we have a fight today? Since you're so eager to die, I'll naturally fulfill your wish. Let's go. Dongfang Hao said coldly. Then he rose into the air and landed on the life and death stage. Lu Ming moved and stepped onto the fighting ring as well, standing opposite Dongfang Hao. It's about to start. I wonder how many moves Lu Ming can take from Dongfang Hao? Dongfang Hao is at the peak of virtual G.O.D. and his combat strength far exceeds his peers. I'm afraid Lu Ming won't be able to take 3 moves. I think so too. Let alone 3 moves, even 1 move is profound. Let's just wait to collect divine crystals. Chapter 2683 The Great Battle with Dongfang Hao. Lease reading Omicron N novel cool. Omicron M. Many people were discussing and looking at the fighting ring, hoping that Lu Ming would be killed in 1 move. Then they could sit down and collect the divine crystals. Boom. On the fighting ring, a terrifying aura burst out from Dongfang Hao's body. The divine power of a peak 9th level virtual G.O.D. realm expert was fully unleashed, forming a powerful wave of divine power that pressed toward Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming's body was like a rock, not moving at all. You're quite capable. I'd like to see how capable you are to dare to accept my life and death duel invitation. Dongfang Hao said coldly. Then he took a step forward and charged toward Lu Ming like a bolt of lightning. Buzz. His palm was like a knife and he slashed at Lu Ming. Although it was a palm, the knife force was extremely sharp, wanting to cut Lu Ming in half. Boom. Lu Ming made his move. His divine power shook Dongfang Hao's wave of divine power away and he threw a punch at it. You actually didn't use a divine artifact to take my attack. You're really looking for death. This attack will split you in half. Dongfang Hao roared in his heart as he struck Lu Ming's fist with his palm. On the fighting ring there was AMF fled boom, like the vibration of a heavenly drum. Then, circles of strong chi ripples spread out in all directions, and a level 12 wind seemed to be blowing on the fighting ring. Then the 2 figures floated back hundreds of meters. What? Many people's pupils suddenly shrank. It was blocked. Lu Ming had actually blocked Dongfang Hao's attack. How is that possible? Lu Ming's cultivation base was only at 4th level void G.O.D. realm, yet he was able to block Dongfang Hao's attack? This is too terrifying. It can't be. Many people were shocked, especially those who had bet on Dongfang Haoshing. Dongfang Hao has underestimated his enemy. He didn't even use much of his strength just now. Yes, it must be like this. After all, Lu Ming is the #1 new disciple. He's quite powerful. I guess he's used all his strength just now and Dongfang Hao didn't use much of his strength. That's why he managed to block it. Yes, it must be like this. Many people seem to have found a way to ease their minds. How did this kid break through to the 4th level of the void G.O.D. realm? Below the fighting ring, Huang Wu was the most shocked. He had fought with Lu Ming the earliest and was very clear about Lu Ming's previous cultivation. When Lu Ming had just entered the sect, he was only a demi G.O.D. However, he was already on 4th level void G.O.D. D level now. What kind of improvement speed was this? He was almost scared to death. What's wrong? And NBSP seeing Huang Wu's expression, Huang Wen frowned and asked. That kid's cultivation isn't right. It's not right. When he first entered the sect a few years ago, he was only at the Demi-G. D realm? Huang Wu's mouth trembled as he spoke. What? Huang Wen as well as the others beside him were all shocked. Their eyes were wide open. Impossible. He was only a Demi-G. D a few years ago and now he's already at the 4th level of the Void G. D realm. His foundation is also solid. This is impossible, completely impossible. One of the young men immediately shook his head in disbelief. Are you sure? Huang Wen asked with a dark expression. He's indeed a Demi-G. D. He was indeed a Demi-G. D a few years ago. Huang Wu said trembling. Impossible. I don't believe it. Perhaps, when you fought him a few years ago, he hid his cultivation. There are many secret skills that can hide cultivation in the primeval universe. That's right, he must have hidden his cultivation. The few young men shook their heads. They did not believe Huang Wu's words at all. They thought that Lu Ming had hidden his cultivation level in the past. What a joke. This was virtual G. D level they were talking about. It would be extremely difficult to level up. They would never believe that he could level up from Demi-G. D level to 4th level virtual G. D level in just a few years. Huang Wen shook his head as well. He believed that Lu Ming had hidden his cultivation level back then. Huang Wu's face paled, unable to speak. He was sure that his senses were not wrong. What a monster. I hope he dies in Dongfang Hao's hands. Huang Wu roared in his heart. At this moment, Dongfang Hao was also shocked. Other people thought that he had not used his full strength, but he knew very well that in that move just now, other than the divine weapon and divine skill, he had already used 100% of his divine power. He had planned to kill Lu Ming with one move. He had never expected that Lu Ming's strength would be so shocking that he could block an attack with 100% of his divine power. Kid, you have some skills. Let's see how many moves you can block. Dongfang Hao said coldly. Cut the C.R.A.P. Show me what you've got. Otherwise you won't have a chance. Lu Ming said indifferently. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Let's go. Dongfang Hao reached out his hand, and a golden saber appeared in his palm. It looked like it was made of gold. Buzz. The battle saber shook, and the saber radiance soared into the sky. This was a level 9 low-grade G.O.D. equipment. Lu Ming had an idea and he took out a level 9 low-grade divine artifact spear. 9 void slashes. Die. Dongfang Hao roared. His body and the saber merged, and the saber radiance soared into the sky, slashing at Lu Ming. This was a divine skill. Dongfang Hao's second attack was a real killing move, and it was extremely powerful. Fortunately, the life and death battle stage was covered with a light shield. Otherwise, Dongfang Hao's blade light would have rushed out and all the spectators would have been enveloped by it. A divine skill? Lu Ming narrowed his eyes slightly. This was the first time he had seen someone using a divine skill in a battle. The power of a divine skill was indeed terrifying. It was completely incomparable to an incomplete divine skill. Let's try and see how powerful it is. Lu Ming muttered. The long spear vibrated and hummed. Then he pulled the spear out. Lu Ming did not use the 3 apocalyptic strikes. Instead he used an incomplete divine skill. Lu Ming had already cultivated the incomplete spear technique to the 7th level, the highest level. Boom. The long spear and the saber gleam collided. 15 levels of power burst out from Lu Ming's long spear in an instant. 15 layers of power, like a stormy sea, surged towards the other. However, Dongfang Hao's blade ray was shockingly powerful. It kept on breaking through the layers of power. A series of explosions rang out as the two figures quickly retreated. This time, the two of them retreated a few hundred meters before they could stabilize themselves. What? He blocked it again. How is this possible? This is impossible. Many people couldn't believe it. Many people rubbed their eyes thinking that they were seeing things. However, after rubbing, the scene was still the same, which really made them dumbfounded. Just now, Dongfang Hao had clearly used his ultimate skill. The power was terrifying and he definitely did not hold back on purpose. However, Lu Ming had still managed to block it. The 7th level of the incomplete divine skill. That kid has actually cultivated the incomplete divine skill to the 7th level. What a terrifying comprehension ability. Many people gasped. To be able to cultivate an incomplete divine skill to the 7th level at the 4th level of the Void G? Oh. D realm was definitely shocking. No wonder it was so powerful. This kid is too monstrous. He must be eliminated. Huang Wen's eyes were extremely cold. Chapter 2684 Intestines Turning Green with Regret. Lise reading Omicron N novel. Cool. Omicron, is this all you've got? I'm really disappointed. In the fighting ring, Lu Ming shook his head and looked at Dong Fanghao in disdain. Kid, don't think that you can be arrogant just because you blocked 2 of my moves. I'll kill you with my next move. Dong Fanghao roared, his killing intent as sharp as a blade. He was a 9th tier virtual G.O.D level powerhouse and an expert on the virtual G.O.D ranking list. To him, it was a great humiliation that he could not kill Lu Ming, who was a 4th tier virtual G.O.D level powerhouse, even after he used his ultimate skill. Kill, die. Dong Fanghao shouted as he raised his saber with both hands. His divine power burst out, and saber rays appeared above his head. In the end, a total of 9 blade gleams appeared. Each of them exuded a terrifying aura. Dong Fanghao had pushed his G.O.D skill to its limit. Void 9 slashes annihilate G.O.D. Die. Dong Fanghao bellowed. The 9 rays of saber radiance exuded a terrifying aura, carrying the power to destroy G.O.D and slashed at Lu Ming. Before the saber ray had even reached him, the terrifying saber force had already swept toward Lu Ming, wanting to tear him apart. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed slightly. At this moment, Lu Ming circulated the ruler's divine energy to the extreme. At the same time, Lu Ming activated the double combat power of the battle character formula. Lu Ming's body was filled with powerful energy. Once again he shot out with his spear. This time Lu Ming did not use the divine skill. Instead he used the incomplete divine skill. Boom, boom, boom. The 9 rays of saber radiance that Dong Fanghao had condensed slashed toward Lu Ming one after another, each more powerful than the last. Every time it slashed down and collided with Lu Ming's long spear, there would be a terrifying explosion. Everyone's hearts were in their throats as they stared unblinkingly at the scene. They wanted to know if Lu Ming would be killed by Dong Fanghao in one strike. I hope Dong Fanghao can kill that kid. Those who had bet on Dong Fanghao's victory kept praying in their hearts, hoping that Lu Ming would die in Dong Fanghao's hands. Unfortunately, they were destined to be disappointed. After 9 loud bangs, Lu Ming stood still, completely unscathed. He did not even have a single wound on him. Dong Fanghao, on the other hand, was panting. Although a 9th level Void G.O.D realm expert could use divine techniques, it consumed a lot of divine power. Dong Fanghao had used up a lot of his divine power just now. What? He's not dead yet. That Lu Ming, why is he not dead yet? Many people were shocked. They couldn't believe that a 4th level Void G.O.D realm cultivator could still stand after Dong Fanghao's full force attack. How was this possible? This brat, why isn't he dead yet? Around the fighting ring many people, including Lu Zhong and the other deacons of the outer gate, were roaring. Each of them had bet a large number of divine crystals. Lu Zhong in particular had bet a total of 20 million divine crystals. He hoped very much that Lu Ming would be killed. What powerful strength. As expected of someone who possesses a gold token. The 3 enforcement hall's elders had a look of shock in their eyes as well. Previously they had guessed that Lu Ming might be the disciple of some big shot in Kongshen sect. Now they felt that it was very possible. Otherwise, how could he be so powerful? They secretly rejoiced. It seemed that they had made the right decision to help Lu Ming this time. Dong Fanghao, is this all you've got? How disappointing. Well then it's my turn now. Lu Ming said coldly. He took a step forward and charged at Dong Fanghao. His long spear was like a mountain range pressing down on Dong Fanghao. No. Dong Fanghao used his remaining divine power to block it, but after the collision he was forced back, his face pale and his body trembling. Just now he had used all his strength to release the divine skill and it had consumed too much divine power. At this moment he could no longer block Lu Ming's attack. Kill, die. Lu Ming shouted as he continued to attack with his spear, shrouding Dong Fanghao in layers of spear shadows. Dong Fanghao charged left and right but it was useless. He was completely suppressed by Lu Ming. Bang. He was caught off guard and was hit by Lu Ming's spear. More than a dozen layers of power burst out and hit Dong Fanghao. He screamed in pain and was sent flying. He spat out a mouthful of blood. A big hole had been blown into his chest and his breath was weak. Don't kill me, Dong Fanghao yelled in terror. Kill? Lu Ming said coldly. He stepped forward, his killing intent extremely cold. Senior brother Huangwen, save me, save me. Dong Fanghao screamed at the top of his lungs. If this continued he would really die. He was so scared that he almost peed his pants. Before the battle he would never have dreamed that it would end up like this. In his mind he could easily kill Lu Ming and he would not be in any danger. If he had known that Lu Ming was so terrifying, he would never have sent out the life and death duel letter. Lu Ming, that's enough. Huangwen shouted with a dark expression. That's right. We're all senior and junior brothers. It's enough to determine the victor. There's no need to take his life. Lu Zhong also said. Ah, what a joke. You guys don't know that this is a death match. Dong Fanghao and I have signed a death match agreement. Only one of us can leave the stage. Lu Ming laughed heartily. When it's possible to forgive someone, one should forgive them. Lu Zhong said coldly. They'll spare you, you be ******, F******. Lu Ming cursed. He charged at Dong Fanghao with his spear at the speed of lightning. Dong Fanghao screamed hysterically and tried to dodge, but it was useless. The spear pierced through his head. Dong Fanghao's head exploded like a watermelon. Dong Fanghao was dead. He's dead. Dong Fanghao is dead. Many people's faces turned pale and they broke out in cold sweat. They had bet a lot of their skills on Dong Fanghao's victory. Some of them had even bet their entire net worth. But now Dong Fanghao was dead. My divine crystals. Someone screamed in pain and wanted to beat his chest and stamp his feet. As for those who didn't have time to place their bets, they were extremely glad. They had been secretly angry that they had come a step too late and lost the chance to pick up money. Now they realized how lucky they were. In the midst of the music, there were a few other deacons whose faces were as black as charcoal. How did this happen? Below the fighting ring, Huang Wen, Huang Wu, and the others were all pale. Dong Fanghao is dead? They found it hard to believe. A disciple who had just joined the sect a few years ago had actually killed Dong Fanghao, who was on the virtual G.O.D. ranking. In the fighting ring, Lu Ming shook his spear, shaking off the blood on it. Then he reached out and sucked Dong Fanghao's storage ring into his hand. It was his spoils of war. Elders, I've killed Dong Fanghao. I've won. Those divine crystals are all mine. Lu Ming's gaze shifted to the 3 tribunal council elders. That's right, you've won. These storage rings are for you. One of the enforcement hall's elders suppressed the shock in his heart and threw the storage ring to Lu Ming. Lu Ming caught it with a fiery look in his eyes. Chapter 2685. Want to return it? No way. Lease reading Omicron N novel. Cool. Omicron M. This time he had earned big. He had won 200 million low-grade divine crystals. If he exchanged them for sect points he would have a total of 20,000 points. 1 day of cultivation in the Divine Pulse Tower was 1 point. 20,000 points were enough for Lu Ming to cultivate in the Divine Pulse Tower for more than 50 years. Previously, Lu Ming had only cultivated for 3 months in the Divine Pulse Tower and his cultivation level had risen from 3rd level to 4th level Void G.O.D. level. The effect was amazing. The higher one's cultivation was, the more difficult it would be to make a breakthrough, and the time required would naturally be much longer. However, if he cultivated in the Divine Pulse Tower for more than 50 years, his cultivation would increase by a large margin. Many people's hearts were bleeding when they saw Lu Ming put away the storage ring. That was their divine crystals. My 10 million divine gems. An outer deacon's face twitched and his heart was bleeding. Although they were all high-level true G.O.D.s, tens of millions of low-grade divine crystals was still a considerable amount. Humph, it won't be that easy to take my divine crystals. Lu snorted coldly and then sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming. Brat, come to my mansion right away and give me back the 20 million divine crystals. Also, you've insulted me just now, so you must be punished. If you give me another 50 million divine crystals as compensation, he'll let bygones be bygones. This voice rang directly in Lu Ming's ears. A threat, a blatant threat. The corners of Lu Ming's lips curled up slightly. He looked at the music and his voice spread throughout the entire venue. Deacon Lezhong, you're already so old. Don't you know that you must accept your loss? With your status as a deacon, you actually threatened me with a voice transmission just now, asking me to return the 20 million divine crystals to you. You also threatened me to pay you another 50 million divine crystals. How can you say something like that? Lu Ming did not try to hide anything. Everyone heard what he said. Everyone's eyes turned to Lu Zhong. Some people revealed looks of disdain. After Lu Zhong lost the divine crystals, he actually threatened Lu Ming in secret. How despicable. And NBSP, he roared in the center of the music, and his anger was about to burn. He did not expect Lu Ming to be so bold as to directly say his threatening words, causing him to lose face. Brat, you are playing with fire. You are seeking death. Lu sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming. Look, here he comes again. He's sending me a voice transmission to threaten me, saying that he's going to kill me. Lu Ming shrieked, then cupped his fists at the 3 law enforcement elders. 3 elders, a deacon has threatened this disciple in public. This disciple is truly in fear and trepidation. Lu Zhong, one of the law enforcement elders, looked at Lu Zhong with a cold gaze. Lu Zhong shivered and quickly shouted, Elder, there's no such thing. This kid is framing me. Humph, it better not be. The law enforcement elder snorted. Lu Zhong's face turned gloomy and he didn't dare to say anything more. Lu Ming, you're too greedy. Are you really going to swallow all these divine crystals? I bet all my fortune on it just now. Can you return some to me? At this moment, a young man shouted. Not bad, return some to me. Following that, the others also started shouting. Even a few geniuses on the virtual G.O.D. ranking list chimed in. They'd bet a lot just now and had also suffered heavy losses. Return? What a joke. If you weren't so greedy, how could you have lost to me? Lu Ming sneered. Return? How was that possible? These people had been waiting for him to die. How could he return the divine crystal to them now? Lu Ming, you have to know when to stop. I'm only asking you to return a part of it, not all of it. You've earned a lot by returning 50 to 60%. We're all senior and junior brothers, so it'll be easier for you to get along in the future. Otherwise, you've offended so many people. Even if you get so many divine crystals, I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to spend them. A yellow-robed young man, a heaven's favorite on the virtual G.O.D. ranking from the Tianhong sect, said coldly. Although he didn't make it clear, anyone could hear the threat in his words. He was implying that Lu Ming would offend too many people if he swallowed all the divine crystals. He was afraid that he would not be able to spend the divine crystals even if he earned them. This time, the 3 tribunal council elders did not say anything. They too felt that it would not do Lu Ming any good to offend so many people at once. Even though Lu Ming had an extraordinary background, everyone present was under the various saint sections. If he offended all of them, he would not have a good time in the future. Hee. Lu Ming sneered. These people clearly lost the bet, their hearts ached and they wanted to take back a part of it, but what kind of logic was this? Alright, if you want a part of it back, that's fine. Lu Ming's voice was heard and many people's eyes lit up. All outer sect disciples, I'll give you a chance. Go up the stage and fight me. Whoever defeats me, I'll return the divine crystals, but whoever is defeated by me, you have to leave behind something. Lu Ming continued. What? Most of the outer sect disciples immediately hung their heads in dejection. To defeat Lu Ming? You must be joking. Did they not see that even Dongfang Hao, who was on the virtual G.O.D. ranking list, had been killed by Lu Ming? How could they be his match? Wouldn't he be looking for a beating if he went up? However, some people's eyes lit up. They were the heavens' favorites on the virtual G.O.D. ranking list. This battle is only about victory or defeat, not about life or death. Whoever wins, I'll return double the divine crystals. If you lose, you'll have to leave behind a treasure. For example, a king-grade divine skill, a level 3 divine skill, a mid-grade divine artifact, or the corresponding divine crystals. Anything is fine. Lu Ming spoke again. You said it yourself. The yellow-robed young man shouted. With so many people as witnesses, I will keep my word. Lu Ming said. Alright, I'll challenge you now. The yellow-robed young man moved and rushed into the fighting ring. Huang Qinggan is about to make his move. Many people's eyes lit up. Huang Qinggan was ranked 98th on the virtual G.O.D. ranking list, which was more than 20 places higher than Dongfang Hao. His battle strength was also much stronger than Dongfang Hao's. What kind of treasure are you using to fight me? Lu Ming said. A king-grade cultivation technique. Huang Qinggan waved his hand and a yellow scroll appeared in his hand. A king-grade cultivation technique. Lu Ming's eyes suddenly lit up. He cultivated the Heaven and Earth Thousand Dao scripture. As long as he cultivated other divine techniques and cultivated a wisp of corresponding divine power, he would be able to light the corresponding divine fire. In the future, as long as he continued to cultivate the heaven and earth thousand Tao scripture, his divine power would also improve. Lu Ming had wanted to cultivate it for a long time, but he did not have any other amazing techniques. Originally, he had wanted to go to the inner sect scripture depository to exchange for the money he had earned this time. Alright, where's your receipt? Let me see how many divine crystals you've bet. Lu Ming said. Then Huang Qingan took out a written pledge of 5 million divine gems. To an ethereal G.O.D. realm expert, 5 million divine gems was a terrifying number. No wonder Huang Qingan was so anxious. Chapter 2686 Moon Reading Ghost Spear. Fine. If you can defeat me, I'll give you back the 10 million. Now, let us give the divine crystals to Patriarch of Law Enforcement. Lu Ming took out a storage ring and stored 10 million divine crystals in it. He then handed the storage ring to a law enforcement patriarch. Huang Qingan also handed the king-grade divine skill to the law enforcement elder. Then the two of them returned to the fighting ring. Boom. A powerful aura burst out from Huang Qingan's body. His divine power surged and was instantly activated to the extreme. You may have defeated Dongfang Hao, but you're still not strong enough to defeat me. Huang Qingan said indifferently, full of confidence. Earlier he had seen the fight between Lu Ming and Dongfang Hao. Lu Ming was only slightly stronger than Dongfang Hao. In fact, he might not even be stronger than Dongfang Hao. The reason Dongfang Hao was killed by Lu Ming was that he had overexerted his divine power. His combat strength was much stronger than Dongfang Hao's. He was confident that he could defeat Lu Ming. You are very confident. I hope you have the corresponding strength. Lu Ming said indifferently. You'll see it soon. Huang Qingan said coldly. A long spear appeared in his hand. Huang Qingan was also good at using a long spear. Moon Reading Ghost Spear. With a long howl, Huang Qingan made his move. With a thrust of his spear, ghostly shadows filled the fighting ring. Countless roars rang out, shocking everyone. Whoosh. All of a sudden, a black spear shadow stabbed toward Lu Ming as fast as lightning. Huang Qingan used his most powerful divine skill. Buzz. Lu Ming's long spear trembled and divine power circulated. He also stabbed out with his spear. Clang. There was a sharp sound of collision. Lu Ming had defeated Huang Qingan's spear shadow. However, at this moment, a strange energy invaded Lu Ming's body. In an instant, it appeared in Lu Ming's sea of consciousness and turned into a few ghostly shadows, trying to tear Lu Ming's soul apart. Huang Qingan's attack could actually directly attack the soul. It was very strange. However, Lu Ming circulated his ruler's divine power in his sea of consciousness. The ghostly figures dissipated, but Lu Ming also took a few steps back. On the surface, Lu Ming was at a disadvantage. Lu Ming is no match for them. He's been forced to retreat. He is indeed not Huang Qingan's match. It's already a miracle that he could defeat Dongfang Hao. After all, Dongfang Hao is only at the bottom of the virtual god ranking list. His ranking is still unstable, so he can't be compared to Huang Qingan. That's right. Lu Ming is going to be defeated. It's a pity that it's not a death match this time. Huang Qingan can't kill Lu Ming without signing the death match agreement. Some people immediately started discussing. Those who had lost the divine crystals could not wait for Lu Ming to be defeated. Although they would not be able to get back the divine crystals, they would feel more comfortable. Lose? After forcing Lu Ming back with one move, Huang Qingan's follow-up attacks were endless as he charged towards Lu Ming. Small tricks. Lu Ming sneered. This time he used his ruler's divine power to guard his sea of consciousness. The other party's attack could not break in at all. Lu Ming continuously struck out with his spear and collided with his opponent. In an instant, the two of them had exchanged dozens of moves. Huang Qingan became more and more shocked as he fought. Huang Qingan, this is all you've got. It seems like you won't be able to get your divine crystals back. Lu Ming sneered. Lu Ming, don't be too smug. Watch my strongest move, Moon Reading Ghost Spear, Shocking Explosion Divine Ring. Huang Qingan bellowed. Suddenly his strength increased by another level. That's the second level of the divine skill. That's terrifying. As expected of someone ranked 98th on the virtual god ranking. He's only at level 9 of the virtual god realm, but he's already cultivated the Moon Reading Ghost Spear to level 2. Many people exclaimed. Generally speaking, those at the 9th tier of the void god realm could comprehend and cultivate divine skills. However, it was difficult for those who were not talented enough to successfully cultivate them. Only people with high talent could successfully cultivate it, but they were usually at the first stage. Only after breaking through to the true God realm could they cultivate to the second stage. For example, Chaotic Astral Rivers Yuan Luo Hall Master Kong Ji and Unfettered Sect Master Situ Haonan were both at the fourth level of the true God stage. Moreover, they had only managed to cultivate their divine skills to the second level after countless years of cultivation. Huang Qinggan, on the other hand, was only at the ninth level of the Void God realm, but he had already cultivated the divine skill to the second level, which showed his talent. The long spear in Huang Qinggan's hand trembled and then spun continuously. A black vortex appeared at the tip of the spear, emitting a terrifying tearing force. Kill! Huang Qinggan roared and charged towards Lu Ming. The black vortex also charged towards Lu Ming, wanting to crush him into pieces. The power of the second stage of the divine skill is indeed amazing. Lu Ming narrowed his eyes slightly. He knew that he could not block the other party's move by relying on the incomplete divine skill alone. In that case, let's see the power of the 3 apocalyptic strikes. Lu Ming muttered, and the momentum of the spear suddenly changed. The first move of the 3 apocalyptic strikes, sky-breaking. A deep voice came out of Lu Ming's mouth. Lu Ming's entire body merged with the spear, and a spear's gleam shot up. It was so stunning that it seemed to shatter the void. Boom! Lu Ming's spear gleam charged into the pitch-black vortex that Huang Qinggan had created. Exterminate! Huang Qinggan shouted. However, the next moment his expression changed drastically. His eyes popped out and he looked extremely frightened. Bang! Then the pitch-black vortex he had created rumbled continuously. In the end, it was pierced through by a terrifying spear radiance and exploded. Huang Qinggan screamed. His body was thrown backward like a kite with a broken string. He fell heavily on the ground and slid all the way to the edge of the fighting ring before stopping. The scene was dead silent. Everyone looked at the scene in disbelief. Everyone saw Huang Qinggan spit out a large mouthful of blood. His breath was extremely weak, and a hole had appeared in his chest from the front to the back with blood flowing out. He was defeated. Huang Qinggan was defeated. Lu Ming had actually defeated Huang Qinggan. This level of combat strength was too terrifying, right? In the midst of their joy, Huang Wen and the others revealed expressions of shock. Do you still want to fight? Lu Ming landed on the fighting ring and strode toward Huang Qinggan. I'm not fighting anymore, one admit defeat. Huang Qinggan shouted and rushed down the fighting ring. Lu Ming is the winner of this battle. This is your trophy. The elders of the Tribunal Council were shocked as well. They handed over the 10 million divine crystals and the royal grade technique to Lu Ming. Did Lu Ming just use a godly skill? It's definitely a divine skill and its power is extremely shocking. He's only at the 4th level of the Void God realm. How did he manage to successfully cultivate the divine skill? This is too abnormal. He's abnormal. If he grows up, the Kongxian sect will probably have another saint. Even now, many people were still unable to calm down and were immersed in shock. The power of the 3 apocalyptic strikes is indeed amazing. Lu Ming muttered. He realized that the power of the 3 apocalyptic strikes was much stronger than the moon-reading ghost spear that Huang Qinggan cultivated. Just now, Lu Ming had only used the power of the first stage and he had already broken through the second stage. Chapter 2587 Virtual G.O.D. Ranking number 51. The power of the 3 apocalyptic strikes was indeed amazing. It was only the first stage, but it had already broken through Huang Qinggan's second stage divine skill. However, the battle formula also helped. After cultivating the battle formula, the power of any divine skill or secret skill would be enhanced and he would be stronger than others. In addition, the 3 apocalyptic strikes was already powerful to begin with. Hence, Lu Ming broke through the second stage of the opponent at the first stage. Lu Ming held his long spear and stood on the life and death battle stage like an invincible G.O.D. of war. For a moment he was the center of attention. Are there any more battles? Lu Ming's eyes were like lightning as he scanned the surroundings. As he spoke, he took out a pile of divine crystals and absorbed the energy in them to recover his divine energy. The use of a divine skill consumed a lot of divine power. Although he had only used one move, Lu Ming's divine power was greatly consumed. After all, his current cultivation was still low. Those who were swept by Lu Ming's gaze turned pale and did not dare to look him in the eye. Even the few geniuses on the virtual G.O.D. ranking looked gloomy. Huang Qinggan was ranked 98th on the virtual G.O.D. list, far superior to Dongfang Hao. He had even cultivated the divine skill to the second level. With his current combat strength he might be ranked higher, but he had still been defeated by Lu Ming. Although some of the people present were ranked higher than Huang Qingan, they were not that much higher. They had no confidence that they would be able to fight against Lu Ming. For a time no one actually went up. Who else is there? Lu Ming asked again, his eyes even brighter. He'll fight you. At this time a cold voice was heard. In the distance, a figure came over like a whirlwind and landed on the fighting ring. It was a scrawny young man with crimson skin. It was obvious that he was not human, but Lu Ming could not tell what race he was at the moment. It's a scorpion tiger. It's ranked 51st on the virtual G.O.D. ranking. Many people were shocked when they saw the red-skinned young man. The scorpion tiger is about to make its move. I wonder if Lu Ming dares to accept the challenge. Xie's strength is far above Huang Qingan's. I heard that Xie, who once had a huge battle with a first-stage true G.O.D. expert. Although he was no match, he still managed to escape. I've also heard about it. Many people started to discuss intensely. The gap between the ethereal G.O.D. realm and the true G.O.D. realm was a big realm, which was a big gap between their powers. It was very difficult for Annihility G.O.D. to fight a true G.O.D. Let alone a battle, it was extremely difficult for him to even escape. One could see how strong the scorpion tiger was. He's ranked 51st on the virtual G.O.D. ranking list? Lu Ming muttered, a strong fighting spirit rising from his body. I'll bet with you on a fourfold divine skill. If you lose, you have to give me 10 million divine crystals. If I lose, the fourfold divine skill is yours. The scorpion tiger took out a scroll. Sure. Lu Ming accepted the challenge. A fourfold divine skill could only be cultivated to the fourth fold at most. Lu Ming did not think much of it. The ninefold crimson gold armor and the 3 apocalyptic strikes that he cultivated were ninefold divine skills that could be cultivated to the ninth fold. However, the market value of a quadruple divine skill was extremely high. It could be sold for tens of millions of divine crystals. Naturally, Lu Ming would not reject it. The two of them gave the divine crystals and the scroll to a deacon elderly. Lu Ming actually accepted the challenge. He's really bold. Bold? I think he's just greedy. However, Huang Qingan and Dongfang Hao can't compare to the scorpion tiger. Lu Ming is definitely no match for it. Look at how confident Lu Ming is. Could it be that he still has a trump card? Well, just wait and see. This time it was different from the previous time. Some people felt that Lu Ming was unfathomable and might have a trump card. They were not very sure that Lu Ming would lose without a doubt. Boom. Boom. On the fighting ring, the two's auras exploded and the waves of Shin power first collided. Whoosh. The scorpion tiger moved. Its body was thin, but its explosive power was shocking. It charged at Lu Ming with shocking speed. A blood-red sword appeared in its hand, and it stabbed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming only saw a blood-red sword light stabbing toward him at an unbelievable speed. Retreat. Lu Ming took a step back and quickly retreated. He swept his long spear horizontally at the scorpion tiger. However, the scorpion tiger changed its stance and dodged Lu Ming's long spear. You want to use this move to block me? It's useless. Multi-story sword art. The scorpion tiger's cold voice came out of its mouth. Then, beams of sword light bloomed from its hands, densely packed, and charged toward Lu Ming. Each sword light was extremely fast. The second level of the divine skill. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. The scorpion tiger's divine skill had also been cultivated to the second level. From the looks of it, it was even more mature than Huang Qingan. 3 apocalyptic strikes break the sky. Lu Ming muttered. His divine energy surged and he thrust his spear. Buzz. The stunning spear light lit up again, like a star in the night sky. The first move of the 3 apocalyptic strikes was used once again. Wherever the spear radiance said, the scorpion tiger's sword radiance was constantly shattered. Just as the scorpion tiger was about to end up like Huang Qingan, his body suddenly trembled and he forcefully shifted a few hundred meters away, avoiding Lu Ming's attack. A speed-type G.O.D. skill. Lu Ming's heart stirred. The scorpion tiger had not only cultivated an offensive divine skill to the second level, but it had also mastered a speed divine skill. Just now, it had forcefully moved sideways with its speed divine skill and avoided Lu Ming's attack. It's so powerful. The scorpion tiger has cultivated a speed-type divine skill. It's only on virtual G.O.D. level, but it's so strong. He's indeed powerful. No wonder he's a genius ranked 51st on the virtual G.O.D. ranking list. Many people sighed. It was already impressive for a 9th-tier Void G.O.D. realm martial artist to cultivate a divine skill to the 1st tier. However, the Scorpion Tiger had cultivated several divine skills. It was indeed terrifying. Based on this alone, he was far above Huang Qingan. Lu Ming's unique skill can't hit the Scorpion Tiger. He's probably going to lose. He will definitely lose. With his Shun power, he will definitely not be able to use much of his finishing move. He will definitely lose. He's finally going to lose. Ah. Some people laughed. Your attacks are useless against me. Just stand there and get hit. The Scorpion Tiger said coldly. Then its body moved and it charged toward Lu Ming again. Its speed was several times faster than before. Bus. And NBSP whoosh. The Scorpion Tiger's figure would appear on Lu Ming's left and right at times, and its sword light bloomed continuously, slashing at Lu Ming's vital points. Lu Ming waved his long spear and tried his best to block it. Clang, clang. The two of them exchanged dozens of moves in a row and Lu Ming retreated continuously. Let's see how many moves you can block. The Scorpion Tiger's voice rang out, and its attacks became even more intense and violent. Suddenly Lu Ming revealed a flaw. Now, the Scorpion Tiger's eyes lit up. It became one with the sword and used its strongest move. It turned into a crimson sword light and rushed through Lu Ming's flaw, killing him. Lu Ming could not avoid this move. Chapter 2687 Divine Ice Power. The Scorpion Tiger took advantage of Lu Ming's weak point and launched its strongest attack. Lu Ming could not avoid this attack and was about to be hit. Lose? The Scorpion Tiger said ferociously, as if it could already see 10 million divine gems waving at it. Defeated? You're the one who's defeated. At this moment, Lu Ming's indifferent voice was heard. Then his body emitted a red light and a red gold armor appeared on the surface of Lu Ming's body. It was the 9-layered crimson gold armor. Lu Ming had deliberately revealed that flaw. Lu Ming did not cultivate any speed-type divine skill. He could not keep up with the Scorpion Tiger's speed by relying on the incomplete ROC wings technique. If he wanted to defeat the Scorpion Tiger, he had to lure it closer. Only then would he have a chance. Therefore he deliberately revealed a flaw. The Scorpion Tiger was fooled and charged toward Lu Ming. Bus. The Scorpion Tiger's combat sword stabbed the scarlet gold armor, making an ear-piercing sound. Sparks flew in all directions, and the scarlet gold armor trembled continuously. However, in the end, the Scorpion Tiger's attack was blocked. I blocked it. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Lu Ming had only cultivated the first stage of the 9-stage crimson gold armor. At the peak of the first stage, he was afraid that he would not be able to withstand the other party's attacks. However, Jianghu had obtained the 9-fold crimson gold armor from his painting, and it was also incredibly profound, not inferior to the 3 apocalyptic strikes. With the support of the ruler's divine power, its defensive power was astonishing, allowing it to successfully block the Scorpion Tiger's attack. How could it be? The Scorpion Tiger was shocked that its attack had failed to break through Lu Ming's defense. It wanted to retreat, but it was too late. Lu Ming would not give it such a chance. Bus. A long spear swept towards the Scorpion Tiger at a terrifying speed. Bang. The Scorpion Tiger was right on the head. It let out a blood-curdling screech as its body flew out like a broken sack. It crashed heavily on the fighting ring and slid a few thousand meters away. His body had almost exploded into two and he was severely injured. Lu Ming's body moved and he thrust his long spear forward, stopping right in front of the Scorpion Tiger's glabella. Don't kill me. The Scorpion Tiger roared and broke out in a cold sweat. It only reacted after it had shouted. They were not in a life-and-death battle and Lu Ming could not kill it. You've lost. Lu Ming said indifferently. With a shake of his long spear, a stream of energy gushed out and sent the Scorpion Tiger flying out of the fighting ring. The scene was in an uproar. The Scorpion Tiger had actually lost. A Heaven's favorite who was ranked 51st on the virtual G.O.D. ranking list had been defeated by Lu Ming, a disciple who had just joined the sect. This was extremely rare in the history of the Kongshen sect. Most importantly, Lu Ming's cultivation level was only at 4th level virtual G.O.D. level. This level of combat strength was too terrifying. A defensive skill at the 4th level of the ethereal G.O.D. realm. Not only did he cultivate an offensive skill, but he also cultivated a defensive skill. What kind of monstrous comprehension is this? Is he still a new disciple? His combat strength is way too strong. Today he has defeated 3 geniuses on the virtual G.O.D. ranking list. From now on, Dongfang Hao will fall from the virtual G.O.D. ranking while Lu Ming will be ranked 51st on the virtual G.O.D. ranking. These words made many people look at each other. An existence at the 4th level of the Void G.O.D. realm was ranked 51st on the Void G.O.D. ranking. This had never happened in the Kongshen sect. This. In the midst of the laughter, Huang Wen and the others were so shocked that they couldn't speak. Then a cold killing intent gushed out from their hearts. The more powerful Lu Ming was, the greater the threat he posed to them and the more they had to get rid of him. Haha, the future generations are truly fearsome. One of the law enforcement elders laughed and handed the 10 million divine crystals and the divine skill to Lu Ming. Lu Ming had earned a huge sum of money again. Many people were green with envy. Who else come up and fight? After Lu Ming put away his spoils of war, he scanned his surroundings. The entire place fell silent. No one spoke. The geniuses on the virtual G.O.D. ranking list shut their mouths. What a joke. If Scorpion Tiger lost, they would definitely lose if they went up. Lu Ming asked a few times but no one went up. That was because none of the top 50 on the virtual G.O.D. ranking list had come. These people were either out for training, on missions, or cultivating in seclusion. Some of them would not have come to watch the life and death battle between Lu Ming and Dongfang Hao even if they had known about it. Dongfang Hao, a new disciple, was not enough to pique their curiosity. Therefore no one dared to fight now. Since no one wants to fight, then let's leave today's matter at that. Lu Ming waved his hand and kept the spear. He thanked the 3 law enforcement elders and turned into a ray of light, leaving the place. A group of people were left behind, gritting their teeth. Lu Ming did not return to his residence. Instead, he flew straight to the inner sect area. It was no longer safe to stay in the outer sect area. He would definitely be targeted. Therefore, Lu Ming decided to come to the inner sect area. Lu Ming took out 10 million divine crystals and exchanged them for 10,000 points when he arrived at the inner gate area. He then entered the Divine Pulse Tower. In the Divine Pulse Tower, Lu Ming sat cross-legged, absorbing the divine qi from the outer sect to recover his divine energy. The divine energy here was very rich. Not long after, Lu Ming had recovered to his peak state. After he recovered to his peak state, Lu Ming waved his hand and a scroll appeared. This scroll was the King-grade wondrous technique that Lu Ming had obtained from Huang Qingan. Lu Ming opened it and took a look. Divine Ice Formula. When he opened it, he saw the name of this wondrous technique. Lu Ming took a closer look. This was a very ordinary King-grade divine skill. It had 7 levels in total, and when one cultivated to the 7th level, one would be able to cultivate the King-grade divine power, the Ice Divine Power. The Ice Divine Power was one of the more common ones among King-grade divine powers. However, Lu Ming did not care. As long as it was King-grade divine power, it would be useful to Lu Ming. Lu Ming immediately started to study it carefully. A few days later, Lu Ming began to cultivate. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had been in the Divine Pulse Tower for half a month. For half a month, Lu Ming had been comprehending and cultivating the Divine Ice Formula. After half a month of cultivation, Lu Ming had finally cultivated a trace of the Divine Ice Power. And NBSP, a wisp of ice divine power mixed with the ruler divine power, flowed through his meridians. I've succeeded. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He immediately gave up on circulating the Divine Ice Formula and began to circulate the Universe Thousand Tao Formula. The wisp of divine ice power completely fused with the ruler's strength in an instant and became one. A few more days set. In Lu Ming's dantian, a spot of light suddenly lit up near the divine fire. As time said, the light became brighter and brighter. Slowly, it became a wisp of divine fire. Another divine flame appeared. This was the second divine flame. 2 divine flames had actually appeared in a person's dantian. If this was known by others, they would be scared to death. According to the general knowledge of cultivation in the prehistoric universe, one person could only light up one divine fire. It was absolutely impossible to light up a second divine fire. However, Lu Ming had done it. He really ignited the second divine fire. This Universe Thousand Tao art is really amazing. Lu Ming was secretly amazed. Jianghu had obtained the Universal Tao incantation from a heritage site, and even he didn't know its origins. Chapter 2688 Sutra Library, Continue. Lu Ming closed his eyes and focused on cultivation. Now the divine ice formula was no longer of much use to Lu Ming. He just had to continue cultivating the universe thousand Tao formula, and that wisp of divine ice fire would slowly grow stronger. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, a year had passed. During this year, Lu Ming had been cultivating wholeheartedly. The frost divine fire had finally grown to the size of the ruler's divine fire. In his dantian, 2 divine flames were burning. It was extremely mysterious. At this moment, Lu Ming ended his cultivation. Bus. Lu Ming waved his hand and circulated the ice divine power. A long spear made of ice appeared in his hand, exuding a bone-chilling cold. Haha, now I don't have to worry about others discovering my ruler's divine power. Lu Ming smiled. Now Lu Ming could use the ice divine power alone. Although it was far less powerful than the ruler's divine power, it was very practical to fool people. Moreover, once Lu Ming used the G-O-DS divine power, the ice divine power would explode together with the G-O-DS divine power. The strength of Lu Ming's divine power was 20% stronger than before. Don't look down on 20%. A 20% increase in strength was already very shocking. In the future, Lu Ming could continue to cultivate other divine powers. In the future, when the number of divine powers increased and they were stacked, the power would be very shocking. Lu Ming was very satisfied. I've just cultivated 2 types of divine power. It's not a good time to continue breaking through the realm. I'd better consolidate and polish my skills before coming to the Divine Pulse Tower to cultivate. Lu Ming pondered. 1 day of cultivation in the Divine Pulse Tower would cost 1 point, which was equivalent to 10,000 divine crystals. Although Lu Ming was rich now and controlled more than 200 million divine crystals, he did not want to waste it. In the past year he had spent nearly 400 points. That was 4 million divine crystals. In the past, Lu Ming would not have been able to afford it. It said that there are a large number of divine skills, divine techniques, and even secret skills in the scripture library in the inner court. All of them can be exchanged with points. Let's go and have a look. At the thought of this, Lu Ming's eyes suddenly lit up. He planned to exchange for a few more divine techniques to cultivate. Sharpening a knife would not delay the work of cutting wood. Although it would take some time to cultivate the divine technique, this time would not be wasted. As long as he cultivated divine fire, as Lu Ming's cultivation level increased in the future, the divine fire and divine power would also increase. If he were to wait for Lu Ming's cultivation to improve before he cultivated other divine techniques and powers, it would take him more time to cultivate the divine fire he had just cultivated to the size of the Dominator divine fire. His current cultivation level was still low, and the amount of time he had to spend was still little. After he had successfully cultivated it, he could raise his cultivation level in the future. This was the best strategy. Lu Ming left the Divine Pulse Tower and walked toward the scripture chamber. Not long after, Lu Ming arrived at the scriptures depository. The Sutras depository was a huge pavilion. It was 5 stories high and extremely wide. There were naturally people guarding the scripture chamber, and they were all extremely terrifying powerhouses. However, Lu Ming took out his gold token and entered the scripture chamber smoothly. So many. Lu Ming's eyes widened when he arrived at the first level. What came into view were shelves. At a glance, there were at least a few hundred shelves, and on each shelf was a divine skill. They were either in the form of jade talismans or scrolls, but they were all protected by a formation. Only with the permission of the guardian of the scripture chamber could they be taken out. There was an introduction under the shelf. Lu Ming looked at them one by one. They were all divine skills, but they were relatively low level. Most of them were between the 1st and 3rd levels. Lu Ming took a look and did not see any that were above the 4th level. Then Lu Ming went to the 2nd level. The 2nd level was also filled with G-O-delay skills, but they were of a higher level. Many of them were level 4 or level 5 G-O-delay skills. Lu Ming looked around. Other than the G-O-delay skills, he did not find any other amazing techniques or secret skills. Lu Ming walked around and arrived at the 3rd level. On the 3rd floor, the number of divine skills was much less. They were all divine skills of the 6th or 7th tier. And NBSP, the value of such a divine skill was already astonishing. Normally, only advanced true G-O-DS or heavenly G-O-DS could cultivate it and unleash its power. Similarly, there were no secret skills or divine arts on this floor. Lu Ming's goal was not the divine skill. He shook his head and went to the 4th level. The collection on the 4th floor was even less. However, they were all divine skills of the 7th and 8th levels, and there were only a few dozen of them. Great Sun G.O.D. technique. All of a sudden Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He had finally found a divine technique. This divine technique was called the Great Sun Divine Technique. It was also a King-grade divine technique and had more mystical points than the Ice Divine Technique. The Great Sun Divine Power cultivated from it was also stronger than the Ice Divine Power. Finally, there's a divine technique. Lu Ming was overjoyed and looked through them one by one. He saw more than a dozen King-grade divine arts and techniques, all of which could cultivate King-grade divine power. Each of them had their own mysteries. However, the points required to exchange for it were shockingly high. The lowest required 1,000 points, while the highest required 5,000 points. 1,000 points were equivalent to 10 million divine gems. For example, the Great Sunshin technique required 3,000 points. They're really valuable. Even if I use up all my divine crystals, I can't even exchange for a few. Lu Ming sighed. After watching for a while, Lu Ming was not in a hurry to make a move. He looked at the 5th level. If a King-grade wondrous art had appeared on the 4th floor, what kind of treasure would appear on the 5th floor? Would there be a Saint-grade divine art? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He then stepped onto the 5th level. 9-fold divine skill and a secret technique. There were even fewer G.O.D. skills on the 5th floor, only a dozen or so. Moreover, the points required for each step were shockingly high. 300,000 points. Even the cheapest level 9 divine skill cost 300,000 points, which was equivalent to 3 billion divine gems. Not to mention a true G.O.D. Even a heavenly G.O.D. would find it difficult to take out so many divine crystals. Lu Ming gasped. He could only look at the number of points. Next, Lu Ming looked at a few secret skills. Amazing, truly amazing. At one glance, Lu Ming could not help but sigh, his eyes burning with passion. Secret techniques were different from divine skills. Secret skills had all kinds of mysteries. Once they were successfully cultivated, they would accompany the cultivator for the rest of his life and would improve as the cultivator's cultivation level increased. For example, there were some secret skills that, after cultivation, would increase one's combat power by several times when they were used. This was somewhat similar to the battle formula. However, the battle formula was even more mysterious. Some secret skills, after cultivation, would have all kinds of strange effects, and their power was even more shocking than divine skills. However, there were too few secret skills, and many of them had very harsh conditions to cultivate. Therefore, very few people had successfully cultivated a secret skill. The 5th floor contained a few secret techniques, but there was very little introduction, only a few strokes. However, the marked price made Lu Ming gasp. The cheapest secret skill cost 100,000 points, and the most expensive one cost 2 million points. Chapter 2690 News about Yuexin. Lu Ming was completely speechless. Originally, he had made a fortune this time and thought that he had become a rich man. Now he found that he was still poor. It's a pity that there aren't any Saint-grade divine skills. Lu Ming looked through the books but did not see any divine-grade techniques. He shook his head in pity. The Saint-grade divine art was the Kongshen sect's divine art. Only a few people had the right to cultivate it, so it was normal that there were no such people here. I'd better exchange for a few King-grade divine arts and techniques to cultivate first. Lu Ming thought to himself. As for divine skills, he had the 9-fold crimson gold armor and the 3 apocalyptic strikes, which were enough for now. He didn't need to exchange for anything else. As for the secret skills, although Lu Ming was very excited, the price was too expensive. He could not afford to exchange for them and could only give up. However, he didn't have enough points on him now. He had to go and exchange some points first, then come here to exchange for the King-grade divine skill. Lu Ming left the scriptures depository and went to the points exchange area. He took out 150 million divine crystals and exchanged them for 15,000 points. Then he went to the scriptures depository again. This is the Golden Dragon Divine Technique and this is the Great Sun Divine Technique. Lu Ming had his eyes on the 2 divine techniques. The Golden Dragon Divine Technique required 5,000 points, and the Great Sun Divine Technique required 3,000 points. Lu Ming decided to exchange for these 2 temporarily. "Senior, I want to exchange for a King-grade divine skill," Lu Ming said to an elder when they arrived at the main entrance of the scripture chamber. "Exchange for divine techniques? The price of a King-grade wondrous technique is not cheap. Which one do you want to exchange for?" The old man sized up the interior and revealed a trace of curiosity. Lu Ming's cultivation level could not be hidden from him. He could tell at a glance that Lu Ming was at the 4th level of the Void G.O.D realm. How could an ethereal G.O.D realm 4th level cultivator have so many points to exchange for a king-grade technique? Senior, I would like to exchange for the Golden Dragon Divine Technique and the Great Sun Divine Technique. Lu Ming nodded. What? You want to exchange for 2? The old man was truly shocked. Then he said with a straight face, Kid, you only need to cultivate 1 king-grade wondrous technique. It's useless to exchange for 2. I know that I don't exchange for it for my own cultivation. There's one that I exchange for others. Lu Ming said. Of course he couldn't say that he had cultivated it himself. Alright, since that's the case I won't say anything more. These 2 divine techniques are a total of 8,000 points, the old man said. Senior, this is my ident. 1. Tai token. Lu Ming pass, said his ident. 1. Tai token to the old man. The old man took it and swiped it on an array disc. 8,000 points were immediately deducted. This little guy actually has so many points. The old man was also slightly surprised and then said, Wait for me here. I'll go get the 2 divine techniques. The old man stood up and entered the scripture chamber. Not long after he came back with 2 scrolls and handed them to Lu Ming. They were the 2 divine techniques. Lu Ming was overjoyed as he kept it. He left the sutra library and headed straight for the Divine Pulse Tower. After entering the Divine Pulse Tower, Lu Ming devoted himself to the cultivation of the 2 divine techniques. These 2 divine techniques were indeed more profound than the Ice G.O.D technique. The Shin power cultivated would also be stronger. Of course, the difficulty of cultivation was also greater. Lu Ming spent a few months and successfully cultivated 2 divine fires. However, the divine flame was rather dim and needed time to slowly strengthen. Time flew by. Lu Ming had been in the Divine Pulse Tower for 5 years. After 5 years, Lu Ming had finally cultivated the 2 divine flames to the size of the divine flames of domination. Moreover, when the 2 divine flames were cultivated to the size of the divine flames of domination, Lu Ming actually broke through in one go and his cultivation level rose to 5th level Void G.O.D level. My ability to challenge those of higher cultivation levels is much stronger than before. Lu Ming smiled. Now, if he used his ruler's divine power, the other divine powers would fuse with it, and when it exploded, its power would be even more astonishing. I've been cultivating for so long, let's go out for a walk. Lu Ming smiled. He ended his cultivation and walked out of the Divine Pulse Tower. After staying for such a long time, Lu Ming's points had decreased by nearly 2,000 points. In addition to the points that he exchanged for the wondrous techniques, Lu Ming only had about 5,000 points left from the 15,000 points that he had exchanged. This is the inner sect area. I can ask around about the Yueshin that the ancestor of technique is looking for. Lu Ming's heart stirred. Back then, the ancestor of technique had given him a dagger and asked him to bring it to Yueshin. In the past, Lu Ming was in the outer sect area and could not find it at all. However, now that Lu Ming could freely enter and exit the inner sect area, he could search for it. Who are you looking for? Lu Ming pondered and his eyes suddenly lit up. He thought of Yu Linglong. Lu Ming immediately took out his voice transmission jade talisman and sent a message to Yu Linglong. To his surprise, he received a reply not long after. Yu Linglong told him to wait for her outside the Divine Pulse Tower and she would be there in a while. Not long after, a ray of light flew over and a figure landed in front of Lu Ming. You actually took so long to contact me? Yu Linglong cast a sidelong glance at Lu Ming. Haha, I've been so busy with cultivation that I forgot. Lu Ming smiled awkwardly. Why are you looking for me now? Yu Linglong asked, blinking her eyes. I want to ask you about someone. I don't know anyone in the inner sect, so I'm asking you first. Lu Ming said. I knew you were looking for me. Tell me, who do you want to know? I know everything in the inner court. You found the right person to ask me about it. Yu Linglong said smugly. I want to ask, do you know this person called Yueshin? Lu Ming asked. Yueshin. Yu Linglong's eyes suddenly widened. She took a few careful glances at Lu Ming and asked curiously, why are you looking for Yueshin? Are you her illegitimate child? Towards the end of her sentence, Yu Linglong's eyes lit up as if she had discovered something new. Lu Ming was speechless. What was this girl thinking? Please don't make wild guesses. I'm only here to find Yueshin on someone's request. Yu Linglong said. You're really not an illegitimate child? Yu Linglong seemed unwilling to give up and asked again. Lu Ming's eyelids kept twitching. He held it in for a while and gritted his teeth. Absolutely not. Oh, then why did someone ask you to look for Yuexin? Yu Linglong asked again. Bring an item and a word, Lu Ming said. Oh, could the person who entrusted you to be Yuexin's old lover? Yu Linglong blinked her eyes. The fire of gossip was burning. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. This girl was right. However, his expression did not change as he said, I don't know about that. You've been asking so many questions. Do you know who Yuexin is? Of course I know. Yuexin is my aunt. How can I not know? Yu Linglong pouted. Chapter 2691 Saint Grade Divine Art, Aunt. Lu Ming was flabbergasted. He had never expected that the Yuexin that the ancestor of technique was looking for was actually Yu Linglong's aunt. This was too much of a coincidence. Is she really your aunt? Lu Ming asked again. He felt that this problem lady was not very reliable. Of course it's my aunt. If you don't believe me, I'll take you to her now. Yu Linglong pouted, her face full of pride. She turned around and flew off in a certain direction. Lu Ming hurriedly followed. In the inner court of Kongshen sect, there were a few huge mountain ranges that were intertwined with each other. There were countless strange peaks and it was vast and boundless. They flew for a while and Yu Linglong flew towards a mountain peak. At the peak of the mountain, clouds and mist lingered and flowers bloomed. It was a beautiful sight. In the distance, a bamboo forest could be seen. In front of the bamboo forest was a lake, and in the middle of the bamboo forest and the lake was a building. At this moment, in a pavilion by the lake, a woman was sprinkling some golden grains into the lake. Immediately, golden carps jumped out of the lake and fought for the grains. Aunt, Yu Linglong shouted from afar. The woman turned around and revealed her face. What a beautiful woman. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. The woman looked to be in her 30s, but she was still as beautiful as ever. She was a rare beauty. This is Yuexin? Lu Ming had a thought. It's you, girl. Why did you think of coming here today? The woman said with a smile. Aunt, I miss you. I'm here to see you. Yu Linglong said with a smile. I still don't know you well, girl. Tell me, why have you come to find me? The woman said. It was obvious that this woman was Yuexin. Aunt, I'm really here to see you. I'm here to do a small thing. Yu Linglong stuck out her tongue guiltily. She then looked at Lu Ming and said, It's him, he said he has something to tell you. Is there something you need me for? Yuexin looked at Lu Ming curiously. May I ask if you are Yuexin, Senior? Lu Ming cupped his fists and said, That's right. I'm Yuexin. Why are you looking for me? Yuexin said. Senior, it's like this. I was entrusted with a task to bring you something. Lu Ming took out the dagger that the ancestor of technique had given him. This is... At the sight of the dagger Lu Ming took out, Yuexin's delicate body trembled. Her eyes were filled with complicated emotions as she reminisced about the past. After a long time, Yuexin let out a long sigh and said, Is the person who gave you the dagger called Fa Ming? Not bad. Lu Ming nodded. What else did he say? Yuexin asked again. He said that he was the one who let you down. Lu Ming repeated the ancestor of technique's words. Yuexin's body trembled even more, and her eyes became misty. After a long time she sighed again and said, He didn't do anything wrong. I did him wrong. The next time you see him, tell him this. He'll keep this dagger. Go. In the end, Yuexin took the dagger, waved her hand and walked toward a house. Her figure was a little lonely. What's going on? Lu Ming felt that things were a little complicated. Lu Ming, what happened? What's going on? It seems that my guess was right. It was indeed Aunt's old lover who came to find you. After Yuexin left, the fire of gossip burned in Yu Linglong's eyes. She stared at Lu Ming curiously. Let's go, we'll talk after we leave. Lu Ming said and walked outside. Yu Linglong followed closely behind and asked a bunch of questions. I finally know. Back then, grandfather wanted Aunt to get married, but Aunt seemed to be unwilling. In the end, she even caused quite a big storm. Yu Linglong said. Your aunt is married? Lu Ming was stunned. Yeah, it caused quite a stir back then, but my grandfather managed to suppress it in the end. However, I only heard about it because I wasn't even born at that time. Yu Linglong said. No wonder. Lu Ming finally understood why Yuexin said that she was the one who had let the ancestor of technique down. The ancestor of technique had always missed Yuexin, but Yuexin was already married. AI. Lu Ming also sighed. He did not know how to tell the ancestor of technique about this the next time he saw him. This was the reality, and reality was so helpless. Lu Ming shook his head and put this matter aside. He had already fulfilled his promise to the ancestor of technique. As for other things, he could not do anything about it. By the way, I have something to ask you. Do you know how to cultivate the Saint-grade divine technique of the Kongshen sect? Lu Ming asked. You want to cultivate a Saint-grade divine art? This will be a little difficult. First, you'll have to enter the true G.O.D. stage and become an inner sect disciple. Then you'll have to display your top talent and pass a series of tests to prove that you're loyal to the Kongshen sect and not a spy sent by other sections. Only then will you be taught. Yu Linglong said. It's so difficult. Lu Ming was speechless. It's just that difficult. You should know that there are only 2 divine grade techniques in the entire Kongshen sect. As the sect's treasure, the conditions for learning the complete divine grade technique are too harsh. At most, you can only learn the incomplete one. Yu Linglong said. Incomplete? Where can I learn something incomplete? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. When he cultivated other divine techniques, he did not need a complete one. Even an incomplete one would do. He only needed to cultivate a wisp of Shin power. You can exchange for it in the Sutra library. You just have to ask the elders who guard the Sutra library. However, the price is shockingly high. There are 12 levels to the Saint-grade divine skill. The first level costs 50,000 points, and the second level costs 100,000 points. The price keeps on doubling. The point is that it's not very useful without a complete one. Yu Linglong said. I can exchange for it. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He did not need the complete one at all. He only needed the first level. After cultivating the first level, he would be able to cultivate a wisp of divine power and light the divine fire. This was enough for Lu Ming. But then he sighed. The first level already required 50,000 points. This price was simply outrageously high. Even if he exchanged all his remaining G.O.D. crystals for points, he would only get a little more than 10,000 points. He was still far from enough. Kongshen sect, where can I earn points? Lu Ming asked again. The place to earn points is, of course, the mission hall. The sect will issue a series of missions. As long as you complete the missions inside, you can get points. However, I suggest that you don't take any missions. It's not worth it, Yu Linglong said. Why? Lu Ming asked. That's because there's a level limit to the missions you can take on. You're an outer disciple now, so you can only take on the lowest level of missions. Those missions are usually time-consuming and laborious, and the rewards are very low. Many of them only reward 1 point, 2 points, and no more than 10 points, Yu Linglong said. Lu Ming was speechless. He only got 1 or 2 points for a mission. How long would it take him to get 50,000 points? Chapter 2692 Opportunity to earn points. However, if you want to earn points quickly, you'll soon have a once-in-lifetime opportunity. Yu Linglong suddenly smiled. What chance? Lu Ming asked. The Dark Dragon Secret Realm. In a few days, the Dark Dragon Secret Realm will open. As long as we enter the Dark Dragon Secret Realm and obtain some treasures, we will be able to exchange them for a large number of points. Yu Linglong said. Dark Dragon Secret Realm? Lu Ming was curious. This was the first time he had heard of it. That's right. The Dark Dragon Secret Realm only opens once every 100,000 years. Moreover, only those below the true G.O.D. realm can enter. Therefore, this is a heaven for the outer disciples. At that time, all the powerful outer disciples will enter. There are 2 main types of treasures in the Dark Dragon Secret Realm. One is the Dark Dragon Beast, and the other is the Dragon Bone Flower. As long as you get the heart of the Dark Dragon Beast or the Dragon Bone of the Dragon Bone Flower, you can exchange it for a large number of points. In the past, a heart of a beast or a Dragon Bone of the Dragon Bone Flower could be exchanged for 100 points. Yu Linglong said. 100 points. Lu Ming was shocked. 100 points were equivalent to 1 million divine gems. This price was extremely shocking. If he could get 100 beast cores or 100 dragon bones from the Dragon Bone Flower, he would have 10,000 points. If it was 500, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. If that was the case, he would have enough points to exchange for the first stage of the divine grade technique. Yeah, the reward is so amazing that even many inner disciples are jealous, but they can't get in. Let me tell you, on the outer virtual G.O.D. ranking list, there are actually many people who could have reached the true G.O.D. realm a long time ago, but they have been suppressing their cultivation, waiting for the Dark Dragon Secret Land that only happens once every 100,000 years. This is a good opportunity to make a lot of money. How is it? It will open in 3 days. Do you want to go together? Yu Linglong said. Yes, of course I'm going. Lu Ming said. He would be a fool not to go. Then let's wait for a few days. Well, go in a few days. Yu Linglong said. Then the two of them went to the Divine Pulse Tower and cultivated for a few days. 3 days later, Lu Ming and Yu Linglong flew out of the inner sect area and headed toward the outer sect area. The entrance to the Dark Dragon's secret realm was located in a huge palace in the outer gate area. This palace was usually closed. It would only open when the Dark Dragon's secret realm was about to open. In the past few days, Lu Ming had gained a more detailed understanding of the Dark Dragon's secret realm. The primeval universe was vast and boundless. It was the greater world and the most perfect and stable world. Around it, there would be some small kiliacosm such as the Heaven Realm and the Primordial Realm. At the same time, there would also be some mystic realms. These secret lands were of a higher level than many small kiliacosm, and they were closely attached to the primal universe. The beings of the small kiliacosm could only reach the demi-G. D realm. If they wanted to continue, they had to enter the primal universe. However, some secret realms could give birth to G, O, DS or even stronger existences. The Dark Dragon's secret realm was one such secret realm. When Lu Ming and Yu Linglong arrived, they discovered that there was already a sea of people outside the palace. Countless outer sect disciples had gathered. It's Lu Ming. Many people recognized Lu Ming the moment he arrived. Back then, Lu Ming had made a name for himself by defeating 3 geniuses on the virtual G, O, D ranking list in a row. His reputation had long spread in the outer sect. This brat also wants to enter the Dark Dragon's secret realm. That's good. I'll get rid of him in there. Some people snorted coldly in their hearts, their eyes like cold lightning. Moreover, there were many people who had such thoughts. Bus. And NBSP whoosh. And NBSP at this moment, several white-haired elders flew over from the distance and descended before the palace. The inner sect elder is here, the door is about to open. Many people were excited. Many of them could break through to the true G, O, D realm, but they had to stay at the peak of ethereal G, O, D realm. They were waiting for the Dark Dragon's secret land to open so that they could get some benefits. A total of 3 inner sect elders landed in front of the palace gate. Then they waved their palms with divine power and 3 rays of divine power struck the palace gate. Boom, boom, boom. The palace's door glowed and rumbled as it slowly opened. However, there was still a layer of light barrier on the door. In the Dark Dragon's secret realm, the Dark Dragon Beast and the Dragon Bone Flower are both very powerful. Those with weak cultivation and insufficient combat strength will not only fail to obtain the Beast Core and Dragon Bone, but will also die. Therefore, only those who can break through this light screen can enter the Dark Dragon's secret realm. Now you can all go. Remember, you only have 3 months. After 3 months you must return to this place. Otherwise you will be locked up inside. An inner court elder announced. Let's go. Immediately, a group of outer sect disciples rushed to the gate. The gate was 100 meters tall and dozens of meters wide. It could easily accommodate hundreds of people. Boom, boom. The group of outer sect disciples each launched a powerful attack, bombarding the light shield of the gate, causing it to shake violently. However, most of the people were blocked. Only a few people managed to break through the light shield and enter it. They disappeared in a flash. D-M. In it, I don't believe it. Break. Someone roared and used his strongest combat power, but he still couldn't break the light shield. You're a piece of trash. Don't block the way. Behind them, other people rushed over and shouted loudly. Their divine power rolled out, wanting to blast away the people in front. You're the useless one. The person in front was furious and brazenly attacked. However, after exchanging a blow with the person behind him, he spat out a large mouthful of blood and crashed into the light barrier. His face turned pale. Dongfang Hao, the man's face was pale. The one who had attacked him was Dongfang Hao. Trash, get lost, shut up. Dongfang Hao snorted coldly. He struck out a palm, which pierced through the light screen and entered the hall. Those who can't break the light shield, get out of the way. Don't block the way. An inner elder's voice rang out. With a wave of his hand, waves of energy rolled out and sent those who could not break the light shield flying. Bus. And NBSP whoosh. There were people constantly moving forward, breaking the light shield and entering the hall. Anyone with the combat strength of a 9th level Void G, O, D realm can break it. At this moment, Lu Ming had already seen through the trick. As long as one had the combat strength of a 9th level Void G, Oh. D-Realm martial artist, they would be able to break the light shield. Lu Ming, let's go in quickly. Yu Linglong cried out and flew forward. Lu Ming followed suit and came to the front of the light shield of the door. Yu Linglong waved her palm and the light shield collapsed like a wave. With a flash, she entered the light shield. Lu Ming threw a punch, penetrating the light shield and entering it. Behind the door was a huge, empty hall. In the middle of the hall was a huge black vortex. This was the entrance to the Dark Dragon's secret realm. The two of them dashed into the vortex in a flash. The world spun around them. The next moment, Lu Ming realized that he had appeared on a piece of yellow land with Yu Linglong by his side. Let's go and hunt for the Nether Dragon Beast and the Dragon Bone Flower. 3 months will pass, in the blink of an eye, Yu Linglong said. The two of them turned into a rainbow light and flew into the distance. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.